Good morning. Welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. This is part of the Gauntlet community. The Gauntlet community is a worldwide group of tabletop role-playing game players, and we mostly play over the internet. Star Wars Saturdays is the series that I run on Saturday mornings for me, although afternoons for some other players, and really super ass early for at least one of us. Crazy, crazy kids. And it is set during the original trilogy timeline. That is New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, for those people who are confused. And if you're confused, why are you here? And the anthology series, every month we choose a different game system, and we have a loose structure timeline. So we have different groups of players, different stories that we're telling in the galaxy, as it were. This month we are finishing up Sea of Stars. So Sea of Stars is a game in playtest. We are playing the beta. In fact, I believe that we are the first group to play it not run by the designer, which is Michael X, another member of the Gauntlet community. I'm excited to say that we have had some pretty cool fun so far, and we are going to pick right back up where we had ended. The Rebels had asked you guys, the crew of the Silver Snake, which is a tram freighter, in case you think that we're doing some kind of crazy space fantasy on an actual snake. No, it's a tram freighter called the Silver Snake. That's a totally different game if we're going to fly actual silver snakes in space, not this game. You guys had gone to the research station Shantipole, which was located in the Roche asteroid field. Roche asteroid field is where a species of insectoid, bipedal insectoids known as the verpine, who have a bit of a hive mind mentality, although there are distinct personalities among them. They are a peace-loving species who had declared themselves neutral. Got a little lecture about that last session, but they are not for the rebels. They are not for the Empire as of the beginning of this altercation, and there is technically an Imperial governor over Roche asteroid field in this part of the sector. And you guys came in. You were asked to deliver a message to Commander Akbar, and as you did, the Imperials showed up. You found out that there was an Imperial spy among them. One of you forcefully apprehended, we'll go with forcefully apprehended, Lieutenant Salem Gleck, who is the Quarren traitor who had ratted you guys out to have the Imperials shown up, and gets it all split out into different groups in an attempt to escape Shantipole. You have Akbar by the main crew, which is not that large right now because you guys had split up. But Throxon, Ein Forta, and Rosk had all headed to the Silver Snake with Akbar and Pollard and the captured Salem Gleck. You guys had gotten into the hangar and were boarding the Silver Snake when the Imperials were on their way in a troop transport, just like a big shuttle that had a bunch of stormtroopers on it, had started to breach the field that keeps the hangar from being sucked out into space. At the same time, in a hidden hangar where two prototype B-Wings, which this Shantipole, the whole research station had developed, there were two B-Wings that had loaded up with Bryn Selig and his astromech R5M0. And the other pilot, this cracks me up to no end, with his co-pilot, Suskafu the Verpine, is none other than the power droid MR34, Mr. Pilot. So let's pick up. Normally I do introductions. We're third of three. I think we know who we are. So let's jump straight into the action. So what does it look like with Mr. in the cockpit of a B-Wing? Now, does anyone need me to like pull up a picture of a B-Wing? Because they're super cool looking. So I got no problems doing that. I don't want to Here, this is a picture.
I think you want to bring up the picture.
I don't want to bring up a picture of a Bayway because they're so cool.
They're awesome.
Anybody really wants me to, I guess I will. Okay, fine.
Why'd I even ask? What's the hell? I should have just said, here, let me show you a picture I would have seen.
Just as good as the picture of Mr.
I think Mr. wins. Cool. So what does it look like with Mr. in the cockpit of the B-Wing here with Suskafu behind you?
Actually, can you show me the picture again? Because I don't remember what
absolutely.
What it looks like.
Although
exactly.
it's not going to help a whole lot, but basically the way that it works is
Does it close down on top like that?
Yeah. Like it closes. Yeah, so it's clamshell kind of deal, and it's this right here, and that whole thing kind of rotates around.
So as the cockpit closes, Mr.'s kind of carapace starts to unfold, and you see the inside workings, which are much shinier and nicer than the exterior would lead you to believe. And it starts to unfold and kind of fill up almost every inch of the cockpit with all sorts of interfaces and cords and docking and going like actually into the control panel. Some places where you're supposed to dock in, some places you're not, like getting through the cracks between the joints and things like that. And just sort of almost a relaxing, like,
like he'd been all cooped up.
Like taking off a confining pair of shoes after a long day at work.
Sorry, my mental image is like, have you ever seen when you go to a Chinese restaurant and they stuff a whole lot of extra food in, and then you open the thing and the rice just goes, yeah, that's what we see with Mr. as he unfolds, and of course the camera pans back a little bit to Suskafu with his insectoid eyes as he very surprised by this power droid blowing out into filling out the main pilot's chair there.
I don't know if anybody would hear it, but MR beeps to itself that Bryn might have a point about upgrading the body.
Nice. So we pull back and go over to Bryn with your astromech droid. So this is, astromechs are usually used in X-Wings. I imagine that, again, we had the big kind of suction thing that picked up your R5 and placed him in. And then as the clamshell cockpit cover is coming over you, what do we see with Bryn as he's getting ready to take off on the B-Wing?
Bryn is the opposite of MR. Bryn is kind of frenetic. He's watching over every detail. He wants to make sure everything's right, but he's kind of overdoing it. He just switched out his hoodie. He's wearing his pilot's jacket. He's kind of sweating, but he's just looking over. The SWS are closed right now, but he's looking at the targeting system and making sure the ammo magazines are loaded up, and he's micromanaging the torpedo. The I guess droids are doing that automatically, but he's like making sure everything's right. Right now, he's thinking about this fight. And he wants everything to be perfect before he goes up.
Nice. So he's like envisioning the fight in his mind. That's really cool. Sweet. So the two of you guys, we come back to the back of the hangar and we see the engines flare up, and both we go through the little field and out into space. And of course we have some appropriate John Williams orchestral bit of the first flight of the B-Wings. Maybe there's a hint of Flight of the Bumblebee that's just seated in, and just a little bit of really clever music theory. People are like super excited about that on their little private forum that's off somewhere in Poland. And so we cut away from you guys as the B-Wings are flying in formation. Oh, by the way, I'm really curious. So Mr. When Bryn flies off, are you guys working in sync, or are you going your own way? Oh, you're muted, Keith.
I want to show off a little bit, even though I don't know if I know what I'm doing. So I would stick close enough to Bryn to be like, yeah, you should see what we're going to do. It's going to be good.
Nice.
I believe in you, MR. I believe in you.
The Furpine looks over. He's a little nervous because he didn't know droids could fly. Droids can fly? Cool.
Maybe I get a little beep from R5, like, wait, he can fly? Why am I co-piloting?
Maybe we need to switch positions next time. What do you think about that?
If you need me to take over, sir, I will be happy to do so, he says in a few beeps and whirs. And the last thing we see before we cut away from you guys is you see the sonar display on the front of your display here in the the fucking cockpit. I can't remember the words. Sorry. You see there's smattering dots of different TIE fighters, and that they are coming in hot towards Shantipole. So we cut over to the hangar bay where the transport has just crashed on. Everything starts to rock. Of course, it's sending sparks up as it bounces against the side wall of the hangar, and stormtroopers are going to come streaming out any moment now, and the entirety of the Shantipole research asteroid starts to shake a little bit as you hear some bombs, like the TIE bombers are going to just take this thing off the map.
And in all of this chaos, where are our crew we are supposed to evacuate from here, like Akbar and the other engineers?
Great question. So Akbar, Pollard are with you guys. Akbar informs you guys, like, this is a thing he announced over the intercom, but I don't know if I was terribly clear about it. There are lifeboats that the Verpine have been trained to escape because they suspected that, you know, things could go wrong and pear-shaped or Ponfar-shaped if so in Star Wars parlance. So they have these lifeboats that the Verpine are all trying to escape to, and they're hoping that the B-Wings and the Silver Snake can buy them a little bit of time for all of them to launch. But Akbar and Pollard are with you, and then Glek was brought along by Thronsock. Although he'd probably like to stay, you know.
I placed in the wrong move. Yeah, I suppose so. We are like in some corridor that leads us to the hangar, and we probably like see all of this like mess coming down on us. This like transport making its way, and I suppose I would just like slightly like push Einforda to the side so that they don't see us, and maybe we'll land uncomfortably on the wall. Like, you know, in some other circumstances, one could think it's something else about to happen, but we are like uncomfortably close, and Raz just like picks in. He says, "Voodoo, there are stormtroopers all over the landing bay. What to do? Einforda, I'm going to make a deception and lure their leader out, so we can take him out, and somehow maybe then we can sneak by all the other troopers."
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just do it fast. We got to get out of here.
Yeah, sure. Is Strong with us already?
Do you want him to be with them?
I think he could have caught up. Yeah.
Yeah. So we say, okay. You guys hide in the storage compartment over there. I'm going to like lead their leader and hopefully direct the stormtroopers to go to the place where we are not, and we get a drop on them. So I will like stand back, like correct my attire, and then just like look on Tronk. Tronk, are you with us on this? You are muted, like soft mute because of the hardware, I believe. Still nothing?
Yeah, it might be a hardware issue.
Yeah. Dang it. All right. We'll work on that.
But I assume Blaze's Trunk is with us on this plan.
It seems like to me.
Pantomime.
He's a droid. Somebody just go and we can hand gesture. No, it seems like you're trying to bait a trap here. Is that right?
Yeah, I just bought this move. However, I'm not sure if I can go straight to baiting a trap. Maybe I need to like wave off some of the stormtroopers first, because I'll be mostly baiting a trap for like commander of this transport to take him out.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well then, if you're trying to open the way, then,
yeah. So what I imagined, I would just like openly like walk out there and like quiet and like slowly like fastly walk toward the stormtroopers, make hands where they can see them, just so that I can pose like I'm a conspirator along with along with Lieutenant Gleck.
Okay. Yeah, so some of the stormtroopers come out. They've got those cool little assault rifle, little battle rifle things, and of course, who are you? Who are you? And
soldier. I cooperate with Lieutenant Gleck. He has sent me here to direct you toward the meeting room where Lieutenant Gleck is holding the rebels come, and I like spit on the floor. At the gut point where you can like apprehend them, but they are like barricaded themselves in. So if you can like, and I just like take some data pad with like a map and I just like point them out. And I have other secret message for your commander if you can direct me to your unit commander.
All right, cool. That is definitely you trying to manipulate your way past these guys. So I think you've given a legit reason. Dropping Silent Gleck's name paves the way for something. So roll plus presence. Now, is someone trying to help you here? And if so, you got to step out into the hangar bay to do so, right?
Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, I suppose Ein Forte could also step out and then just leave Gliel and the other his assistant.
Yeah, because if they see Akbar, they know Akbar, so yeah, they would.
That's going to be the trick. Is to sneak out of here. Yeah. Yeah, Ein Forte could. Well, let's. Yeah, okay. Ein Forte could kind of step up. Ein Forte will just like follow along behind him and just sort of like to offer assistance if he needs it. But she'll just kind of be there at this point.
Yeah, but like she's a princess. Like what's her attitude?
That's what. Oh,
how's she playing this off?
Well, she's playing this off as she's like, you know, she's from she's like very much like you know, from a senator's or a house from the Imperial Senate. So she's here as a representative, and she's very much like, oh yeah, you know, she's going to use her family name. She'll just drop that and say, yeah, I'm here. This is very important business. You know, we really need to follow through with these orders of Sullen Gleck.
Nice. Okay, cool. So go ahead and roll plus presence there, Rask.
I already did. It's a 13.
Holy crap! That's amazing. Cool. So they get the cutting torches. Get the cutting torches. Come on, Unit B, come with me. And the stormtrooper sergeant starts leading away, and he says, Captain Harkin is aboard. He's aboard the trooper. He wanted to lead his men personally.
Of course. So yes, soldier, please go on to this location to assist Lieutenant Gleck, and I will go and speak to your commanding officer.
Cool. Let's take a quick break. Blaze, say something so we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good stuff. All right.
Hey,
so
quick thing, Rich. Just whenever you come back, I forgot to do my startup session roll, but we can do that when you get back to me. That's fine. When we come back.
This could be the first time you make the roll, and it would be appropriate.
Yes.
Fury Squadron's like, what? Bryn's in trouble? That'd be cool. All right, cool. Yes, let's definitely do that in just a moment. So the stormtroopers are led down a different corridor out of the hangar base. They're not going to go run right past Pollard and Akbar, and an entire squad takes off. You hear laser fire in the distance as they start firing on any Verpine that they see is dangerous. They're trying to escape and hit lifeboats, but you guys now have a clear path to try to sneak your way onto this troop transport if you're going to head after Captain Harkin. By the way, just a quick little Navy thing. He may not be actually a captain. He just might be the ranking officer on this little troop transport. He might actually be a captain, but just saying there's that weird confusion with Navy stuff.
Yeah.
What do you do? I'm curious what Throck is doing. You hang back. You saw them go out and pull their little ruse. What is Throck doing?
I'm not a ruse kind of guy. So they pulled their ruse. So just so I'm clear, they pulled the stormtroopers away in a direction, right?
Right. There are a couple squads of stormtroopers. One entire squad is headed to where you overheard Rosk Surin tell them that the rebels were holed up and they needed to cut through a door. So the stormtroopers are taken off, and there are some stormtroopers are still on the ship. They're securing the ship and locking it down. Then they're going to go run in and start chasing after other Verpine.
Okay, so
our ship. I'm sorry, but are there stormtroopers on our ship securing it, or
not yet?
Okay, yeah.
So I'm gonna chase the guys that are going after the Verpine, and I'm just gonna like close the loop behind them, so I can like once they're at the ship, then I could just show my face and just like do the opening scene of the lightsaber and say, "Welcome to my world."
Cool. So just so I'm clear on the intent, your plan is to protect the Silver Snake from any stormtroopers trying to board it, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So the squad that took off to go to this place Roska set up that's a ruse, they go, but remaining stormtroopers who are a threat to the Silver Snake and you guys, any aggress that you want, you're taking them on full on lightsaber battles.
Would that be more strategic, or should I just go and close up the loop of the people that?
I think it's. I love the idea of you facing off a bunch of stormtroopers with a lightsaber. I don't give a shit about strategy. We're talking Star Wars, right?
Fine, yes.
I mean, Star Wars commanding officers won't tell their subordinates of their secret plans because drama. All right, let's. So Ein Forda and Rosk Surin, these stormtroopers are all taken off. You know that some of the stormtroopers are coming to secure their shuttle, but they're going to be checking out this other Silver Snake here real quick. What do you do? Is this when you want to set off your trap? I think we should rename this. It's a trap, not bait the trap. But
yeah, I wanted to make it's a trap, but with Trask already going lightsabering.
You can do it before that.
I'm kind of lost of who is where actually at this point. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem. I'm kind of like in a loss of who is where, and do we even need to set up a trap? Because if we can like beeline to our ship and just boot it up, then we can just do that.
Well, you can make a run for your ship, but the stormtroopers will be coming around. Baiting a trap, I would imagine, is you trying to lure Captain Harkin out and attacking him. Although you have some other options with bait the trap, right?
Yeah. Let's make it interesting. I think I'm going to go inside this. Rasmus is going inside inside to the troop transport, and we'll try to lure Captain Harkin so that he and a small squad will go to secure this rebel scum ship. Because we know the security code, and then we will like spring the trap, take him out, and maybe like have a leverage over the stormtrooper.
Sounds awesome. So go ahead. You're setting an ambush. Roll plus clutch to see how this move comes out. I'm excited about it. That appears to be a 6.
Yeah, with clutch, it's a 7. So
on a 7 to 9, they go in, but choose one of the following. So,
yeah,
who chooses? You choose? I think you choose one of the following. So go ahead.
I'm fine anyway. I think it makes sense that we still get a jump on them, but they are well prepared. But come on, we have a trunk with us, so we can handle. So we still get a jump on them, but they are well prepared. So maybe he takes more stormtroopers with him than I tried to talk him into.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, he goes with a half squadron. We'll say there are 6 stormtroopers with him, and you were working to, hey, let's go secure the Silver Snake. He comes out. You see that he's got that kind of the weird brim Imperial cap and the crisp uniform. He looks fresh out of Imperial Academy. This is his big chance. Like he has said, I'm going to go out there. I'm going on board Shantipole. I will get Akbar myself. And so you telling him about the Silver Snake, he jumps on that chance, but of course he's also a cowardly Imperial, so he grabs a bunch of stormtroopers to come with him, and they all start rushing towards Silver Snake. That's when you interpose yourself, and we have the cool lightsaber sequence, but Harkin is there, so you guys, if you can secure him, he's probably going to cowardly tell the other stormtroopers to back off to save his own filthy skin. So why don't you... Are you looking just to threaten them, Throxon?
Well, yes. Let's start with that. Let's start with the threat. I just want them to. I want you to go back to your ship and back to the shithole that you came from.
Nice. Okay. So mean. I love it. I don't see. There's engage the enemy. But there's not really a intimidate move. It seems like
I do.
Oh,
I do.
you have one?
I have a move specifically.
Perfect.
It's called. Wait, let me find it.
Enforcer of the Order.
That's the one. Enforcer of the
awesome.
Order.
Threaten
So-
someone based on your powers. So what powers other than totally kick-ass lightsaber? Are there we see any other powers that are coming out?
I could use my telekinesis to close the door at the hatch of the ship.
Wicked. Okay.
See, that's the thing. Let's do that. So I'll roll. Oh, could I just get the link to the roller? I didn't keep.
Absolutely. The roller is right there for you.
Thank you very much.
Newly cracked dove. I don't know about cracked doves, but this one's new, so it's okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go orange, right? Orange is okay. Orange, yes. Okay, submit. And I get a +2, 6. Wait, no, 6. Yeah, 8.
8. Nice. That is fantastic. So with your 8 on a 7 to 9. On a hit, they either acquiesce, flee, or fight you. GM's call. On a 10+, you can even take a +1 forward. So you get what you want either way. You just get a plus forward if you roll a 10+. So I think that what happens is you interpose yourself. A couple stormtroopers come forward. Do you like? Are you slicing weapons, or are you going for the?
Yeah, I could go slicing weapons. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, slice a couple of weapons, and that's when Captain Harkin, this way, man, and he's gonna take off and beat feet. So you guys now can head towards the Silver Snake. They're let them go. We've got TIE fighters out there. That's okay. And this way, man. And he takes off in a tactical retreat. So we'll swing back to the 2 B-Wings that have taken off. You guys, on the sonar, you had seen that there is a small clutch, like a little squadron of TIE fighters, and beyond the TIE fighters is it's like a G-Truck class freighter. It's a frigate that pretty much just carries TIE fighters. So it has can go into light speed, and then it drops out of light speed, and a bunch of TIE fighters can come out of it. The good news about that means that there isn't a Star Destroyer parked on the outside of the Roche asteroid field. Roche asteroid field, by the way, is too dense of an asteroid field for most Star Destroyers to come mess with. They just have a lot of problems. I guess that's, again, reinforces why Darth Vader was so badass that they would actually take one into an asteroid field. So expensive, guys. Really, really pricey. And the odds, but it doesn't matter. So B-Wings, you guys are paired up and you're headed towards these TIE fighters. You know that there is, of course, the frigate ahead of that. Over the comms, you're hearing that the lifeboats, that the first 3 are away. They have an automated response system, so they actually go on a pre-plotted course. There's no actual pilot for the lifeboats, but that means that a good half of the research station Shantipole Verpine have made their way towards safety. So that's what's going on so far. The Silver Snake hasn't taken off out of their hangar yet. So I'll start with you, Bryn, because this is kind of a thing that you normally do. What do you do?
Yeah, so first, maybe I should do that.
Jury Squadron!
Starter session.
Roll it!
How much, hold up, let me just look here for what that roll is. Yeah, that's plus supply. So how much supply do we have? Since it's the last session, maybe we should blow a bunch of it.
It is row 56. You currently have shared gear supply of 4. Yeah.
Maybe not.
We should probably like insert within the fiction us re-upping your supply because you guys have burned through it, but we never talked about getting more. And that's a thing to note for us. But yeah, you got 4 right now.
Are we going to be using supply after this? If I use this roll, is there? I don't
Unless
remember.
we get a bunch of damage and need to repair it, probably not. Unless someone wants to pull a cool item from the backpack, like I don't know, a blowtorch or whatever else. It all comes from this.
That's thermal detonator.
I'll use 2. I'll use 2.
Okay, cool. Good luck.
And I'm using these clear dice over here.
I see them.
Of course, I didn't get it.
Did you roll a 4?
Yeah, plus 2, 6.
You have the worst luck.
I've never seen my wing.
All right,
I'll
so
assure you that this squadron exists.
They're out of range or something. Who knows?
Fury Squadron, they're like, oh man, what's going on with Bryn? Look here, guys, we got furlough. Woo! You'd think that during the middle of a war we wouldn't get furlough, but it turns out that we had a backlog, and so due to some kind of calculation error, we get to go to Delos. It's awesome, guys. And no, so the Fury Squadron, they are off fighting another foe. And they hear, and we'll kind of cut to one of the X-wing fighters, female Twi'lek, and she says, "May the Force be with Bryn. If only we could be there with him." And then we cut back to you. Bryn says,
Yes.
"Yeah." What do you?
So you've got the frigate, the TIE fighters. They don't have light speed or jump drives or anything like that.
No.
Right?
No, they get left behind. That was the whole thing of like, how did this TIE fighter get out in the middle of nowhere? It's because they don't have those kind of engines.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of concentrating fire on that frigate to kind of try to cripple it. If we can do that, this whole fleet will be slow to get to our evacuating ships.
Great, cool. And also, just so we're clear, because I did not at all make this clear to you guys, it was something I mentioned before. This clutch of TIE fighters, there's a TIE bomber among them, and then they've got a couple wingmen, and they're actually going over Shantipole and dropping bombs on Shantipole. But then there's the frigate past them, which is the command center and also the group that carries the pilots into battle. So you're headed for the frigate. That's what the B-Wing is designed to do. Is really designed for the Nebulon B-class frigate. This is a smaller frigate, but you can absolutely get in close. You've got proton torpedoes and heavy lasers, so you can punch that thing pretty hard. So yeah, you're definitely suited for that. Let's go ahead and have you engage with the enemy roll here. Now with the B-Wing, it should have a +1 maneuver roll. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the player ships. Put B-Wing. Well, it's a +1. No, maneuver rolls. Well, let's see. What ship options do we have? Pablo, I know you're a little bit better about defining the ships.
Well, the ship that Scoundrel gets +2 hull, +1 maneuverability, it's discreet, or it has torpedo base. 2 damage versus capital ship. Cost 1 supply per use. So maybe torpedo base, because
I like that.
I believe that bombers are quite of not so maneuverable. So maybe like +1 to, I don't know. Yeah, like the torpedoes base makes sense.
All right, and hull points, we're gonna say they have 5 of 5. Oh, cool. All right, good. So you have +2 versus capital ships with your torpedo bays. That defines a B-Wing pretty well for me.
Nice.
All right.
Well, it says 2 damage versus capital ships, but that's up to you. So.
Oh, 2 damage. Sorry, 2 damage. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's the meaning that normal turbolasers cannot damage capital ships, and you need this torpedo base to be able to damage capital ships. That's my understanding.
Makes sense. I like it. A small section on vehicle and combat would be helpful within the beta V6. Okay. So let's go ahead and have you engage the enemy.
Okay, so it's plus guts, and there's a +1 on this roll. So another plus.
No, I misspoke. The +1 maneuvers for the silver snake. The B-wing doesn't have that. So.
Okay.
It's relying purely on your guts.
That's an 11.
That is amazing. Cool. So you exchange damage. So you're coming in close, and there's an array, like a couple of turbo laser batteries that are coming towards you. You're going to go ahead and take 1 hull point worth of damage. But you get to pick 2 options from the list. You're doing 2 to this capital ship, a frigate. And you can choose 2 options from the list. Do you need that? I can drop it in the chat. It's on the basic moves tab.
Yeah, I see it. I'm reading it. So either deal grievous damage, suffer less damage. I'm going to do deal grievous damage for sure.
Nice.
And we seize the advantage.
Oh, sweet. So you deal grievous damage. So you do exactly. So R5 points out, like, draws a reticle over one of the pair of engines for this frigate. Wheel around in the B-wing, everything kind of rotating around the cockpit the way that it's designed. Launch a couple of proton torpedoes. They skim through space. You target and hit the right engine. Port starboard. Okay. Port is left. Starboard is right. Starboard engine winks out, and it takes 3 damage, grievous damage. So, of course, we do the obligatory shot inside the frigate, explosions. A couple of Imperial guys with the crazy big helmets fall down. We hear Wilhelm scream. Then we swing back out to Mister as you got a couple choices. Are you following into Wingman with Bryn, or did you tail off to deal with the TIE fighters? Are you doing something completely different?
So you said there is a bombing run going on Shantipole itself?
Yes.
And 3 lifeboats had taken off?
Yes, half. So another 3. Basically, if they can get aboard the other lifeboats, then they can effectively evacuate Shantipole, but they need some time.
So yeah, the threat is kind of twofold, that these bombers could take out the remaining sitting ducks, or the capital ship the frigate might release more fighters, or
the capital ship has its own armament. They've already released their fighters.
Okay.
So the capital ship has its own armaments. They could start targeting the lifeboats if they really want to be total dicks about it. And they're the Imperial, so you can pretty much roll the dice that yes, that's what's going to happen.
They're probably going to do that. Well, I know these soft biologicals probably need a lot of help. They're not moving very quickly getting out of the station, so I will shoot on over there, take care of the bomber, its escorts, probably all at once. That's what I think will happen.
This is amazing, Mister. You're very confident.
That is one thing Mr. has, is confidence. Competence, we'll see. But I feel like
home with the Mr. Patch. Confidence, competence, question mark, and then a power droid in the middle with a bunch of little tentacles coming out.
I'm picturing a rebus, like the confidence is literally over the competence.
Nice.
People are like, is that both? No, it's a word bubble. So I was originally considering flying the B-wing as trying to use my troublemaker move. So I need to use it unconventionally, I feel like.
That sounds amazing. How can you conventionally be a troublemaker? I think it's built into the move that you should use it unconventionally. I love it.
And these are experimental StarCraft, right?
Yes.
That were being done at the station. So there's some limits that they wired in, like restricting the speed and things like that.
Yeah, they have a speed governor. There's certain targeting systems that are locked in to try to make firing it easier.
I'd just like to add now that when you were describing how your carapace was unfolding and Mr. was like inserting, extra probes and bits and things into the cracks and stuff, I was just imagining Mr. like, going in and just like hot wiring things. And it just in my mind, I had this cinematic moment of like, oh yeah, he's, Mr.'s totally like, oh, these humans with their limited appendages, these humanoids, they don't know what they're doing. I'll take control of this machine.
And I think probably there's good reasons that governor was on there. I imagine the G's that we're going to be pulling might not be so good for my co-pilot.
Nice. Well, the good news is he can't go all bug-eyed.
I guess that's good news. And you know what? I'll leave it till I roll to see if maybe we want to describe that as particular chaos.
I love the 7 to 9 result for Troublemaker. It's chaos, and you're caught up in it. Like, that's a mixed success?
Yeah, I don't know about that's one of the moves that I'm like, is that a mixed success or just a more interesting version of failure? But we'll see what happens. So what I'm thinking is basically I want to use the speed that I have unlocked to dart between the trio and get the fighters to accidentally shoot down the bomber and or each other.
That's awesome. This
As
is very
I'm
Greek
weaving
mythology too. I love it.
Pretzel-like through it. So
there's a moment where the B-wing goes whoosh, and we have speed lines, and we hear the R2-D2 whoa wow as you're taking off faster, and of course Tuskfu has to report. The B-wing was not designed to go quite this fast. Perhaps we should replace the governors and reassemble the. They start rattling off a bunch of cautionary tale as you hit your Troublemaker. Go ahead and roll with no
guts.
It's guts. Yeah. Yes, guts.
I'm imagining those S foils closing also as you maneuver.
13.
Oh! Okay, so when you set out to raise hell with no regard for your safety or anyone else's, roll plus guts. On a 10 plus, you get it done. And you even get out clean. So what does it look like as you pull this crazy maneuver and these TIE fighters fall for your trap?
So I said I was going to let the dice decide, but I really think Suskafu probably passes out from the G-force. It's like, I just want that to happen. That's part of the plan, in fact, because he's rattling on back there about, I don't know if this is safe. He's right. It's not safe. I mean, that was right there in the move. So I buzz very close to one of the ties. So it's clearly cannot ignore what's happening and kind of engage it, trailing me. And as we're flying, I'm in front, it's behind. And then suddenly I dive out of the way as it's shooting. And there's the bomber right there. And the bomber explodes because it's carrying all this ordnance and takes out the other TIE fighter. So I think there's one left. Just because I'm not sure how much narrative authority I get on this.
I like let's leave one left. Yeah, I love the one moment as we go into the TIE fighter, like he's pouring it on. He thinks he can catch the B-wing, even though it's going insanely fast. And then you zip out of the way, and then we have the TIE bomber. He's like, no, he throws his hands up. We see through the circular with the hexagonal design on the front glass. And bam, they smash into each other. And of course, we have the explosion ring that happens, and everything goes out forward, and we hear an explosion in space because Star Wars, and you zip past, and the TIE fighter goes off. There's a bunch of debris, and his front windshield gets pitted, but now he's going to try to target you and come after you. So we cut away to the Silver Snake, cut back onto the Silver Snake. You guys you secure the Silver Snake. Is there anything you're doing before you take off? Akbar and Pollard will come aboard. Akbar's already grabbed a few more Verpine that didn't make it out to the lifeboats, and he says, "We need to secure this place." The bombing stops all of a sudden. There are 3 more lifeboats that need to leave before everyone has got an awful shantypool.
Akbar, do you happen to have a spare astromech droid with you? And I'm just like looking at everyone who gets in with us as part of his crew.
Believe that there's an astromech droid, and he'll hand you a little comlink thing, and you could potentially reach out to Rich. Will now look in the species name and slang for a droid name, and that would be THA is still in the command center. Zoom over to see if there is a particular droid. Let's see, what kind of droid would it be? Astromech, you said? So yeah, it's a little like an R3, which they're not great.
Yeah, we have to remember that our ship is damaged and it cannot enter hyperspace.
That's right, you don't have astromech droid.
Although it's totally fine if they don't have one, because then we'll need to somehow swap in the middle of the space.
Yeah, I like that. So you pop over the comlink and there's no response. Either that R3 unit was pulled along to the lifeboats or it got shot.
Yeah, it makes sense. So I say, well, thanks, Akbar. We'll have to manage water. Yeah, secure yourself, and I'll like sit on the pilot seat. Yeah, it's quite comfy. Bryn has like really comfy custom design. Nice. And I will like slowly take the ship out. Like I'm not waiting for them. Like there are too many stormtroopers to secure the station, so we'll just get it off.
Oh, cool. So you take off, and you guys head out into space. You see there are explosions all around. The B-wings are in a heated fight. You could swerve off to assist one or the other of the B-wings. I'm curious what Ein Forta is doing.
Yeah, well, Ein Forta is feeling pretty pretty uncertain about not having an astromech or a navigation system. She looks over at Throck and says, "So, if you have any Trandoshan wisdom for how to navigate without an astromech, now would be the time to pipe up."
That's awesome.
Okay. Give me a second. What's the name of the creatures that were in the thing that get attached to the ship again?
Oh, the Minox?
Minox, thank you. Okay. All right. It said that 3 Minox flying for your ship, blind, are more likely to cause you harm than not seeing them.
Ein Forta rolls her eyes. Well, that's about as helpful as we're. That probably improves our chances of getting out of here. Thank you, Throck.
I'm glad I could assist.
Yeah, I just look around. I don't think there are 3 of those creatures in the asteroid field, so I'm not really sure where we'll find all 3. But yeah,
I went ahead and marked the dramatic conflict about Throck being superstitious and weird for you, because wow, yeah, there we go. Oh, and was Ein? Well, I wasn't with Rosk present per se, but it sounded like Ein was trying to take charge there. Cool. I'm really eager in the 3rd session for us to burn through a couple of these dramatic conflicts because I want to see how they get resolved. So if you can push towards anything that's got 3 or more, do it.
Should we mark one for the Bryn and MR mentor fighter pilot?
Who do you guys think was who introduced that conflict in? If so, mark it.
Well, I thought I was showing up Bryn in his realm of expertise there a little bit.
I think so too. Yeah.
All right. It's 2 and 2. Whoever hits a dramatic conflict next gets narrative control. Oh my. Cool. Good stuff. All right. So yeah, we've got the Minoc advice for you guys. We swing back up to the cockpit where I imagine the Akbar is like holding up to the top and overlooking your shoulder and watching things as they're going on. He says, I understand that you don't have astrogation. I do have a number of Verpine engineers here. We could possibly string together some astrogation calculations to approximate a jump, but it will take some time.
I think it's not necessary. We'll pull Mister from one of the B-wings once we secure it, and then just like knock on the sensor on the like radar. We just need to make sure that he doesn't get shot first. So, Miss Forta, would you mind getting on the guns, and we'll do flyby and try to take out this last.
Sure. Yeah. So Ein Forta goes back to the gun turret. She goes to the one that wasn't broken last time.
Oh yeah, good. Because
like I hope both your gun turrets
the spider, the spider cracks. Cool. How about this? Are you okay with, just so we can see another combat move in action, standing Overwatch and effectively providing cover for Mister?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool. Okay, so the stand Overwatch move actually uses. Oh, sorry. It uses clutch. Dang it.
Oh, wait a minute, clutch. That's my -1.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
I mean, we could roll it anyway. We're getting away easy so far. All these 11s and 13s we're rolling.
We need some complications. So you're going to try to give Mister some assistance here.
Okay. Let's see.
Famous last words.
Oh no! Well, that's what you get. I rolled a 6 minus 1. That's 5.
Oh, so close. If
Not
only
really.
you'd gone for engaging the enemy. Dang it. Why? Who talked you into doing
Or
this?
even act under fire. I just took a bonus for act under fire.
Oh,
All right,
man. That sucks. Oh, I'm so sorry.
So what happens with the Overwatch if it doesn't go well? Oh, that's your GM's choice.
Yeah, it's just a GM move. So
Do you wanna
cool.
leave it as a mess, or do you want me to try and help out? Because I think help is
I'd
plus
love
2
to see what
or not.
the move options are. So yeah, see if you can help out. You're actually maneuvering the ship, so couldn't you use the maneuvering to help?
Yeah, I'm just curious if helping in this game gives plus 2 or plus 1, because I completely forgot.
Aid or interfere. You may assist
Plus 2, okay.
or interfere, and on a 10 plus, you can get a plus 2.
Yeah, so, well, following, this is a freighter, following a viewing, followed by a, what's the name for this Imperial fighter? I completely forgot. TIE
Fighter?
TIE fighter. I completely blanked. Yeah, following a viewing, followed by
Your
a TIE
brain is
fighter,
fried
following
because
the
it's so
fighter.
hot there. It's okay.
Yeah, we are probably like flying like very close to the Shantopol, and then some other asteroid, and then some other asteroid, and then this beast comes out from the asteroid, and we have to escape. So I assume I'm helping by carefully planning the plot course and maneuvering behind them.
Nice. I like it. All right. So this is interesting. On a 7 to 9 or a 10 plus, you give a plus 2 if you help in this game.
Yeah.
Very, very big on help. That's nice. Okay. Let's see how it goes.
So I assume I'm helping by skill of my piloting, so I will roll plus clutch.
Okay.
It will be plus 1. Having 2 misses on a table is always funnier than having only 1. So it's a 10.
Wow. Okay. That is fantastic. So you definitely give that plus 2, which pushes it right to a 7.
7. So hold 1 on stand Overwatch.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can spend a hold at any time to do the following: cover fire, allow another player to move freely; suppressing fire, prevent an enemy from moving or attacking freely. So there's still that one TIE fighter out there, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Supporting fire, bump up a teammate's roll by 1, may be applied after the roll. Or opportune shot, retaliate against anyone or attacking your ally, deal half damage or round down. So it sounds like a lot of these are, it sounds like the hold 1 is key for this, and we can maybe continue with the narrative of getting MR onto our ship, and then depending on how that goes, I have a couple choices for how to respond using the Overwatch hold.
Sweet. So yeah, you're coming in, Mister. You would have gotten a co-pilot notification that the Silver Snake is there to help you out, but unfortunately, the Verpine Suskafu has passed out. So you're all on your own, and you know that TIE fighter is trying to dial you in. You're a little faster, so you are starting to lose him, but a good shot. What are you doing? I thought you were going to talk on mute. Sorry.
I was about to, and then I was like, wait a minute, better check. So, well, you know what? I'm going to lead him back to Bryn so Bryn can show off his stuff and shoot this guy down because he is trailing hot on me. Which is probably some sort of move.
Yeah. Okay. So you just want to try to shake the tail then?
Sure.
Awesome. So go ahead and act under fire then. Roll plus clutch.
Clutch.
You're pretty clutchy.
I improved my clutching.
Wow, you did.
But not enough. It is a 6.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Now, how important is this particular move? Because I could use the supporting fire or something to bump your roll by 1.
That's true.
You're going to get shot if you don't get supported here.
All right. So all right. Then I can spend my hold on some support supporting fire and help you out right now.
Awesome. So then, instead of taking a significant amount of damage, the B wing, it's got that long single wing. A piece of it, you take effectively like 1 hull point worth of damage, and you're going to take a condition, or you can take damage. You can roll it either way, but you're not destroyed, and you're not going to be disabled. So you end up taking 1 hull point worth of damage. And I wanted to flow through that to either give you a hit point of damage, or you can take a condition, mister. What do you want?
I'll take a hit point. That seems okay, fitting. And I think probably that happens while I am complimenting Her Highness on amazing shooting. Thank you so much. You've helped out the cause immeasurably today with your incredible shot. Your eyes are as beautiful as they are accurate.
Her leku kind of flutter a little bit from sort of like blushing, twilight blush.
Oh, there's so much fanfic, Mr. Einforta fanfic out there. The guys are running in a meadow on Naboo or something, and it's fine. It's fine.
But while I am complimenting her, I'm not paying a lot of attention. So if anything else happens.
Nice. Bryn, you see that Mister is drawing in that last TIE fighter here. The capital ship is now aimed all 4 of their batteries, although if you stay on one side or the other of the cap ship, then you're good, but they're tracking you. They're wholly focused on you because you just took out one of their engines. What are you doing, Bryn?
First, I want to open a comm to MR, and I say, MR, you broke in formation. Why aren't you by my side? We need to take out that starboard side engine. R5 is sending you our new flight coordinates. Try to get back in line.
And of course, I totally miss it. I am busy complimenting Her Highness. And does that finish it out?
Fly.
Yeah, I think that finishes out our dramatic conflict between Bryn and MR. And it felt like Bryn was trying to reintroduce it there, right?
Yep.
So 3-2. Cool. So let's quickly go over those roles, the rules for dramatic conflict, and then we will swing back in. So if you look under the basic moves, Bryn gets 3 XP. All other players involved take 1 XP.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, once you fill the drama track, resolve the conflict by the end of the present scene. The player with the most boxes ticked goes first, giving their take on where things up and marking the 3 XP. The other players involved follow, giving their take on the resolved conflict and marking 1 XP. And just because the conflict's resolved doesn't mean it's wrapped up nice and clean. But it will no longer be a poll that we'll argue upon. So with that in mind, you give the flight coordinates to Mister, who is busy complimenting Iron Forta. And then your ship is rocked with a couple of hits from the turbo laser. I'm going to give you 2 hull points worth of damage as you are right up close to a capital ship.
Oh.
And that is not good. And I think you better do something there, Bryn. Silver Snake and Mister are not close enough to help you. What do you do?
I'm going to focus all my fire on that starboard side and try to disable the ship.
Awesome. So let's have you engage the enemy again.
Okay. Actually, let me look at my moves. I thought I had something I could do here. Maybe
If you want to make an
maneuver?
evasive maneuver, that's kind of cool.
Make an evasive maneuver while pilot guts during maneuver. What would that do for me, though? Like, that wouldn't help me to take out that engine, would it?
No, you'd actually just be flying and not taking harm. So that's a really good.
Yeah, probably not worth doing right now because I've already taken that harm. Yeah, so I'll just do the regular flight attack.
If only somebody's life was in certain doom, was under threat of certain doom.
Yeah,
that cool move. Okay, got to remember that. Stick a pin in that. We got to watch that.
Here we go. Oh, jeez. 14.
Wow. Okay, so on a 10 plus, you exchange damage, which means you're going to take 1 hull point of damage again, which is putting you really close to losing this B-wing. Or I'm sorry, it would be 2 coming your way, but then you can make an option. So you get 2 options from the list. What would you like to choose?
Okay, let's see. Suffer less damage and deal grievous damage.
Awesome. I just had to double check. I thought that C's was misspelled, and it is. So I'm going to fix that. I before E.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. So you suffer less damage, and what was the other thing you chose?
Deal grievous damage.
Dang, you are vicious. Sweet. So were you looking to deal damage to their port engine or actually deal damage to them through that weakened point on the starboard side?
If I hit the starboard side, is that going to basically I'm trying to cripple it. So whichever one is going to make the ship, you know.
Yeah, if you want to cripple it, your best bet is to take out the port engines, which was part of the original plan that you talked about. They can't go to hyperspace, which means that the TIE fighters, of which there aren't any that you currently see, but you know a G-Truck freighter can carry up to 8. So if there are any other TIE fighters, they'll be stuck right now.
Right.
You guys.
That's what I want to do.
Sweet. So you zoom back around the G-Truck freighter. It just doesn't have any maneuverability like you do. So, they're just trying to fire with their turbo lasers. You take 1 hull point of damage instead of the 2. And the B-Wing, she holds up. I probably know if they have shields. It's fine. It's fine. I will look that up in break time. Come around. You take out the port engine. It winks out as well. And the ship kind of does this half turn as it starts to list in space, just a little bit floating towards a couple of asteroids. It can be not good. They're reporting to the captain, sir, we've lost the port engine. And so he's going to have to make a decision about if he's going to hit the escape pods or have his people try to repair the sublight engines. And the hyperspace is offline. So, is there anything more? Like, it feels like you guys take out the G-Truck, the TIE fighter is, it's still there. That's right. You didn't actually destroy that last TIE fighter. Ooh, this ace pilot. If only he were in a TIE interceptor, we know that he'd probably die, but hurt you some. But this is a regular TIE fighter pilot who is still chasing Mister. You stood overwatch and made sure that he was able to get out without being hurt too bad. So let's swing back to the Silver Snake to understand what is it that you're doing, Ross, because you see you've got 1 last TIE fighter to deal with. You're hearing reports that the second set of lifeboats are taking off. So what does Ross do?
Mr. Trunk, would you mind also getting on our turrets and shoot down this last TIE fighter so that we can safely do an exchange with Mister, because we need him to, if you want to engage if you want to jump into hyperspace.
Affirmative.
Nice. So we see Throck climb down into the cockpit that's got the epoxy because of the spider cracks on the shielding there. Have you engaged the enemy? Take a shot at that TIE fighter.
What's the thing that I do? I'm going to call the Force.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna unleash the Force, and I've got an advance in this game. Hold a single enemy in place until someone acts or attacks on them. So I want him to stop his TIE fighter and just be a sitting duck.
That's awesome. Okay, cool. Let's see.
Let's see if that actually happens.
Yeah, call on the power. Roll
call on the power.
Guts, and you are very gutsy. You're almost the gutsiest of the group.
7.
7. Okay, so what happens on a 7? On a 7 to 9, you still do it.
Yeah.
But choose one.
Power attacks, you take -1 ongoing powers until you get some rest. You push a particular. You come under fire. Oh, I like the come under fire or face unintended consequences as a result of this.
Nice. Okay, unintended consequences.
What could happen?
What could happen? What could happen? Ah, okay, cool. So you reach out with the force, like you get down into the game, you reach out with the force. They're doing the grab thing. Yes, I love it. It's like dramatic pose there.
Stop.
Mister, you see that TIE fighter just stop. Like the engines are still going and it's not moving at all. It is a complete sitting duck. You could just aim and fire. You can take this thing out if you wish. What do you do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't look a gift frozen TIE fighter in the porthole. I don't know what
Oh, actually, wait. In the open comm link, I actually say, a still Death Master comes to his end.
think about that for a little bit.
Spooky.
Kind of circling around the TIE fighter like, what's he trying to tell me with that one? I was pretty sure I should shoot it, but yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the explosion of the two TIE fighter panels fly off into space, and as all this is going on right now, there is a presence that we are suddenly aware of on the G-Troc freighter that is listless, and you see this dark robed figure start making their way towards the captain, and the captain says, "The engines are taking out. There's nothing more we can do." And he reaches out with his hand, and the guy starts to choke a little bit. And he says, "You will take me to the Silver Snake." And then we will cut away to you guys. So, Rosk.
Well, I assume Rusk to Mr. Listen, I'm not sure if you remember, but Silver Snake can jump into the hyperspace without astromech droids, so we need to make a switch in the midair. So I was thinking that I'm going to get into the airlock, and I'm going to jump and pilot the B-wing, and you're gonna come on board.
Yeah.
You're just gonna do that? It's hilarious.
I feel like we need more details, but
well, you know, I'm in the exchange. I'm flying here, you're flying here. I hang from the airport, from the airlock, and I pull you in, and I jump down to the B-wing. You have a co-pilot here who can pilot for a second, yes, while we are doing the exchange.
about that. Look back, and I think maybe Saskafu is starting to come to again because there's not a need to go quite as fast now that we're not trying to tie the TIE fighters up into knots.
His little thin, little spindly neck. He bounces his sectoid head. We're still alive. We have not gone to the great hive beyond.
Not just yet, buddy. But we're not out of the woods yet.
We were in woods. I did not remember this.
Sorry, that's an old Thrakian saying about forests of Enda. Nah, never mind. You're going to need to pilot for a minute.
Oh, of course. He takes over the stick. And
well, there you go.
he would say, I will be more than happy to assist you, great droid.
Great droid. All right, I like this, Saskafu. Oh, are we in the same scene, or do we need to end the dramatic conflict?
I think we should probably bring that dramatic conflict to an end as this scene's starting to close, because I think the next scene is crazy swap of Rosk to B-Wing and Mr. to Silver Snake. Because it doesn't sound like he actually wants you to like come up and attach airlocks. He wants to do some kind of mid-space, very, very exciting. So I probably need to put some kind of threat there. So yeah, let's bring this crazy dramatic conflict to an end. Bryn, you've disabled the G-Troc freighter. There are no TIE fighters that are currently here. there are probably some TIE fighters that will be coming soon. So how do you guys resolve? What is Bryn? You get first say on this dramatic conflict.
Let me read that little bit again. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here?
It's the dramatic conflict is on the basic moves, column I.
Yeah. So it's just sort of narrating how it's concluded.
Right. Yeah, you fill the drama track, resolve the conflict by the end of the present scene. The player with the most boxes ticked goes first, giving their take on where things end up. So it does narrate how this conflict comes to some kind of resolution.
Yeah, I think what I do is I tell R5, I say, R5, when we get back to the Silver Snake, I want you to upload everything you've got on piloting the B-Wings over to MR. So that he's up to speed. Next time, I don't want him breaking formation. And then he's like beeping, blah 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 blah, whatever. And then maybe I see that MR's boarded the Silver Snake now, and I'm turning the B-Wing around and I'm coming back because I know that somebody's got to be piloting the Silver Snake, and I'm going to have a chat with MR when I get there.
Okay. So then we'll maybe, because we're doing the part of this narration, I'm comfortable with moving things on. So we have the exchange and Mister's going back to Silver Snake. Then you guys going through space. I assume Rusk is in some cool Bothan-sized spacesuit of some kind. Mister, you're just floating? Like, are you in power droid form again? Do you have jetpacks that we don't know about?
So I think one of the things that Bryn had mentioned before was with the body. So maybe moving to that, like, because I'm trying to compress all of everything that was in the cockpit back into this deceptive body, and like it's not working really well. So I think that's the moment where it's like, yeah, Bryn might be onto some stuff, and maybe I shouldn't just be like throwing it all in his face, the stuff I can do, and consider that he might have a point. There's stuff that I can't do, and I could probably learn from this. And I think there's like an awkward floating up of like trying to fold in and grab on and stuff. And there are, of course, jets. Yeah, that's the propulsion. But I think like also an appendage doesn't fully fold in right, and it ends up breaking off, which may come back to bite me later on. And you just kind of see it floating off into space.
Uh-oh.
Arm. Awesome. And hey, we've had our requisite Star Wars arm like cut off. So thank you. You played right into my hands. Cool. So you come on board. We got the power droid going up to start plotting in astrogation. And you guys will take off the two B-Wings, the Silver Snake with Rusk flying a B-Wing alongside Bryn. Two of you guys take off for the hyperspace coordinates that were given to you by Lieta Mothma. On the flight, we'll have the three of you, right, the Silver Snake, and then the two B-Wings behind it in this kind of tunnel in hyperspace. Pollard, Mr. Pollard, he's going to come to talk to you, Einfordum. So you guys are currently in hyperspace. You're a little battered up from the combat that you went through, but he comes. Where does he find you? Are you in your quarters? Are you in the engine room? Where are you at?
Einforta would be in the main room, sitting there, kind of going over documents, maybe writing up reports about what's happened in the mission so far.
Cool. And there's a rap at the door, and Mr. Pollard answers. Oh yeah, that is a great question. Should you pilot a course? It is a move, and so we should do that thing. So go ahead and. Who is plotting a course? Who would be the leader of this?
Is that why I am on the ship now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
That's probably not good. It's wits, and
You're not witty.
But we'll make it happen. Yeah, that is sort of.
You're flat. Someone want to help?
Let's see. What do I got for that? It's plotting a course is What is the plotting a course move? It's
Well,
wits.
plotting a course is wits, and that's why Mister's there. So I think Mister should plot a course. I'm asking if someone wants to aid or interfere.
It seems I'm the wittiest person on the ship, by the way. Just so we know.
Mm.
Yeah, it feels like wits might be a weird stat for that, based on how it's used in other places. But
I would
Yeah.
agree.
Maybe I'm Forta goes up to Throck and says, "Hey, Throck, this Mister says he can do some astromech stuff, but I think we could use some of your voodoo, your space voodoo, to give us a little help getting home."
Just you can call on my infinite wisdom whenever you'd like.
Yeah, we'll go help the droid over there. Between his between the Swiss Army knife and the space wizard, we might get home.
Magic 8-ball.
Try again later.
Try again later.
I'm picturing you putting a hand on top of the chassis and just kind of like, oh gosh, this guy.
This guy.
He's the one that stopped the TIE fighter in midair. I don't know that I want him touching me. All right, let's see what I get to see if you need to aid or interfere.
Okay.
Oh
so
yes, very much so.
You're gonna aid and interfere.
What did you roll?
Oh, I was rolling
Yeah.
ahead of time. I got
you just roll a
a
three?
3. So
You can't make it.
Ouch.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Really,
that's
I
awesome.
should have just stayed in the B way.
But a 3 is good to roll on aid or interfere rather than one of the other moves.
Not
That's
really, because you could give a +2, so it goes to a 5. Like,
Oh,
yeah, the 3's just a hard fail. All right, so we'll deal with that in just a minute, because you guys plot in those coordinates and you jump into hyperspace.
Nice.
Everything looks legit. Is perfectly
Nice.
fine. Good work, Space Wizard and Thief Robot.
I am speechless at the success that we've rolled.
So, Einforda, you're filling out reports, and Mr. Pollard, if you remember, Mr. Pollard was research assistant to Commander Akbar. He's got some kind of acid burn on this side of his face and wears an eye patch as a result of it. Had said he used to be a soldier, but he's not a soldier anymore. He's late 40s. He's got a paunch. He's a little out of shape. Princess, do you have a moment?
Yes, Mr. Pollard. How can I help you?
He comes in and he actually shuts the door. He doesn't seem like he's trying to be physically imposing in any way. He just seems like he wants a little bit of privacy. And he says, are you a member of this crew, ma'am? Or are you just here because of the mission?
The crew of this ship?
Yes, ma'am.
I was sent on this ship to represent the rebellion on this mission and bring back Yale.
That makes sense.
What is your concern, Mr. Pollard?
Well, I was down in the hold during the combat. I was trying to get to the engines to see if there was anything that I could do, and a couple of containers fell over. I just barely moved out of the way, but one of them cracked open. Are you aware of the cargo that the Silver Snake is carrying, ma'am?
I was not aware that the Silver Snake had any special cargo at all. What did you find?
Some very illegal spice.
Spice?
Intoxicants, illegal drugs. They're highly profitable and also very dangerous. And the interior markings were of Hutt design. Not sure if you're aware that the current relationship between the rebellion and the Hutt cartel is not not always positive.
I see. Well, that's very good to know, Mr. Pollard. Thank you for sharing that information. We'll send the maintenance droid, Mister, down to clean that up. I appreciate your sharing that. But don't concern yourself. Right now, the most important thing is getting you and Gil and these B-wings back to the Rebel Alliance, where you can all do some good, and you need some rest, I'm sure, after everything that's just happened.
So you want him to let this go, right? She's like, you're just trying to let's move on. Let's focus on mission 1. We'll deal with this later, right?
Yeah, he seems very concerned about it. Is there some context as far as I mean, I could ask him what is your concern? Do you think this threatens the mission?
If Rosk Surin is dealing with the Hutt cartel, how can we know for sure we can trust him not to turn over these B-wings to the highest bidder?
Well, I don't know Rosk. I haven't known him long, but from what I do understand, he has given some excellent service to the rebellion, and I trust him.
I'm going to need you to manipulate him to let this go for now.
Sure. Let's see.
Roll his presence.
Yeah.
Unless you want to call upon your family name, then you could probably do that move too.
I do want to use that move, but I think I'll just go ahead and do the presence for it now.
Okay.
Let's see. So I rolled. I rolled, yeah, but I only rolled a 5, so that's 6.
Oh man! Don't forget, guys, you get an XP on a fail. So
that's
be marking those XP.
Oh, right. I
so
got
you can make 3rd level.
Oh, we do. Oh, I thought we
failures. No, wait,
that's right.
Crap.
We always miss that, don't we?
You really want us to get XP on a fail, but it's not currently a feature.
I keep saying that, don't I? Damn it! Sorry, I get excited. I love XP on a fail. I need to shut up. Sorry, you don't get an XP. I'm a terrible person.
Well, I might need to use my call-in family then.
He says, all right, I understand. This, of course, takes priority. And then he'll go. Bryn, you receive a communication. Hyperspace, so it's a point-to-point because transmitting into someone that's in hyperspace is pretty much impossible. Mm-hmm. Can't be done. So it must be from another one of the ships. And
yeah, I flip it up. Who is it?
What is he a lieutenant? Lieutenant Selig?
Maybe.
Okay, let's go with Lieutenant Selig for now. Lieutenant Selig, this is Mr. Pollard.
Mr. Pollard? Yes?
I wanted to communicate with you because I know of your record. I know that you're a trustworthy member of the Alliance to restore the Republic.
I just want to see the Empire fall, sir. What is it I can do for you?
I know what you've lost. The cost that your family has paid.
And still paying. If you know what happened to my father.
I do. Spice Mines of Kessel. There's no return from that. I'm sorry.
I'd like to think there is, but well, I'm going to keep fighting until I find a way.
Are you aware that the captain of the Silver Snake has cargo on board that is extremely illegal? Not only against Imperial customs, but also against the former Republic. The sheer amount of spice that is in this cargo hold could start a small navy.
Sir, with all due respect, Bryn has done a lot. I'm sorry, Ras has done a lot for me. He's He's in this to take down the Empire just like I am. I wouldn't have joined up if he hadn't. Sometimes you have to do things you're not comfortable with. And you have to make a decision. You know, do you want to take down the Empire clean, or do you want to risk losing? I'm sorry. Do you want to risk losing trying to do things clean to take down the Empire, or do you want to just go for it and take them out by any means possible? That spice is going to buy a lot of weapons that we can use to fight against the Empire.
I understand. Wow. May the force be with you, Lieutenant Selig. With that, he lets the conversation go.
While this is happening, probably simultaneous to the conversation you just had, Iron Forza would like to call in to Rask's ship and have a conversation with Rask. And when Rask answers, he's going to say, Rask, what is going on? I just found out about all the spice on this ship. How can you jeopardize my mission? Commander Mothma has given us very important, critical mission to the rebellion, and you are putting it at risk with spice on this ship? Are you insane? You are going to be reported for insubordination. You will never fly for the rebellion again.
Go take a sip. Go take a snitch and yeah. How do you say? Go take a dive?
Go take a hike?
Yeah. No, like go and take some, because go take a hike is like
take a breather, calm down, like you tell her to calm down, or do you shut up?
No. Wait. Yeah. Well, Anforta, go and use some. It will relax you, and then when we'll leave hyperspace, we can discuss the methods of financing the rebellion.
Go use some of that spice down below.
I just want you to know that I've got my eye on you, and you've got some explaining to do. This is completely inappropriate.
Wake me up when we arrive.
Potentially putting.
You switched it off. Oh my gosh. So, question: did you just now mark that fourth on the track between Rask and Einforta?
I think, yeah, and I think Rask for responding, I think he gets to mark it as well. I think we end up because he came back and escalated it, right? So yeah. I think he gets to mark the last one.
That brings that to a close. So we close out our second dramatic conflict. I'm proud of you guys. Good work. I give you players and XP. You can use them in other games. I don't know how. All right, so then I see a lot of A's here. It appears that Einforta will be the person who has the highest. So let's work through that dramatic conflict at the end of the scene. So yeah, Ross cut you off. He's not going to deal with the spice stuff. How does this dramatic conflict come to a close between Rask and Einforta, and who thinks they're in charge? You get the first say, Einforta.
Well, at this point, Einforta definitely thinks that Rask has split loyalties and is not willing, is too selfish to put the rebellion ahead of his own interests as a smuggler. So I think actually there was always this tension, and Einforta was beginning to respect Rask, but just sort of I think she feels like really betrayed right now, actually. So yeah, so maybe now she feels more strongly than ever that Rask is not deserving to be a leader in the rebellion. That he's too much of a maverick.
Nice. Okay. Does she feel like she should be running the Silver Snake, or just more of it's on the specific character of Rask and his involvement in the rebellion?
Yeah, I mean, I think she's always sort of seen Rask as the captain of the Silver Snake, but that she's in charge of the mission as a whole, and as such, like, you know, Rosk sort of reports to her, and now she very much sees it that way. And now, not only that, but this Rosk character is a troublemaker who she has to really keep an eye on.
Nice. And then Rosk, you also get a say in the resolution of the dramatic conflict. So how does it, from your point of view or narrating, what else do you want to add?
I don't know. It's like very weird to resolve a conflict, not being able to speak to each other. I don't know.
How do you think Rosk feels right now about Einforta?
I think that Rusk is like is Rusk think that she just is like a noble, always raised to uphold noble ideas, but to fight the rebellion, it needs to be financed somehow. So in his mind, he's doing the right thing, smuggling the spice, dumping 60% of the cash toward the rebellion, keeping only 40. So in his mind, he's like doing everything okay, because who will buy this X-wings? And Einforta, she's out of her mind. Like, but yeah, it's a weird silent conversation as the hyperspace just goes by.
Cool. Okay. All right. Well, that will be our second dramatic conflict resolved. That's 1 XP for Rosk, 3 XP for Einforta. And I would like to go ahead and call for a one and only mid-game break. Let's take about 5 minutes. And when we step back in, you guys will be coming out of hyperspace somewhere. So Walter, what are the pictures of behind you?
Oh, let's see. Well, there. One of them is of India.
Cool.
And another one, it's actually something that I made. I made sort of like just a little piece of art, like some flutes out of some like bamboo like reeds that I picked up. Those were from the Amazon rainforest when I was visiting there. So I guess they're things
Wow,
from traveling.
that's so cool. Dang.
Yeah, the picture of India is kind of interesting. I bought it a long, long time ago when I was in college. Uh, and it was taken by this photographer of this particular place in a place called Hampi, India. And it's a very rural scene. It's some old ruins, like thousand-year-old ruins, and then a woman with her flock of goats in the middle of the ruins. And there's like nothing really very modern around other than the woman there with her goats. And then I went to visit it about 10 years later, uh, and I ended up at the exact same spot. And I realized at one point I was at the spot that he was standing when he took the photo, and I'm seeing these ruins and the backdrop of these ruins, which is very dramatic with a bunch of big rocks and stuff. But when I was there, the entire open field where the woman had been with her goats was paved over, and now it was a parking lot for people visiting the ruins as tourists.
Wow,
Yeah, big change.
that's really neat. Wow, you've been to India multiple times then, huh?
Well, just once, but
Oh,
yeah,
you
this
got
photo,
it?
I actually bought the photo when I was in college from a photographer who'd been there before.
Oh, cool.
And
So you kind of hunted down that spot and then found, oh, that's really fascinating.
I didn't explicitly hunt down that spot, but it was just like this moment where, I'd had it on my wall for like 10 years before going to India, and I got there and I had this moment of like, I've seen this before. This is the picture that's been on my wall for the last 10 years. So it's a special photograph for me now. I still keep it on my
really
wall.
cool. So, well, thanks, Walter. Fun little stuff. Good deal. We will pick up in just a few moments. Since I don't think it's been 5 minutes. Good. Just want Ari and Blaze to get back. So Keith, I saw your Google Plus post that you're cleared, hands good for climbing. Have you actually climbed?
Yes,
Nice.
very gingerly, but I did. Yeah, it's like with the brace on and doing the most basic stuff, but it went well. And I was like, I think my wrist feels better than anything else did because I am out of shape.
I just started.
Did not realize.
Yeah, talking about out of shape. I took a year and a half off from jogging and have just started getting back into it, and God, it hurts so bad.
Yeah, it's like the muscle memory's there, but execution is not entirely.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's jump back in. Now, this is a perfect opportunity for anyone who wants to do like what was in the previous version of Sea of Stars player moments. Really, is just hand you the opportunity for scenes, because this is going to be you guys in hyperspace for a bit. So I open this up. Are there any scenes that you guys want to have, or conversations that you'd like to initiate?
I'd like to talk to Rask.
Nice. Two of you guys in B-Wings, like right beside each other. It
Yeah.
sounds like a really fun conversation to take place after Mr. Pollard's concerns. And oh man,
sure.
then Ross got bitched out by, oh, this is good. This is good. This is very juicy. Okay, cool. So yeah, you reach out on the comms. Rosk, for a moment, you think perhaps Einford is gonna reach back out to you, but no, it's Bryn.
Hey, Bryn, how was the B-wing flying?
I could have used a non-droid pilot, but MR did a pretty good job. But it's good that we have you in the pilot seat.
Yeah, I had to swap with Mister. He had to plot the course.
I just had a very interesting talk with what was the character's name? Sorry.
Pollard.
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 Yeah, Pollard knows about the spice, and you know I've always looked the other way. My dad did the same stuff. Like he always played both sides. Look where it got him. But I look up to you. I think that you're not going to make the same mistake he did. He went too far.
Geez, this Pollard is kind of a snitch. You invite a man to rescue his butt from the station being overrun by stormtroopers, and he just goes sniffing around the ship.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you something, though. It's pretty important to me, because I'm here to fight for the rebellion, and more importantly, take down the Empire. I need to know that the money you make from this is going to go to help fight the right fight.
Yeah, who do you think buys your X-wings?
Sure. Yeah, that fancy pilot's chair with the nice upholstery or right leather cover or whatever. Its money's got to come from somewhere, right?
I'm always dipping most to the rebellion, keeping something to, keep flying. Unfortunately, rebellion doesn't pay up. And ship needs shippers. Sometimes you need to pay a bribe. But don't worry.
I got to ask you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But don't worry, most of it goes to the right source to buy your X-wings and astromechs and ground equipment. I don't know. I just dump it to the shared account and.
Yeah. Well, the cat is out of the bag, sir. So I got to ask you, just this one time, give all the proceeds to the rebellion. Get the heat off of our backs so we can keep doing what we're doing.
Once we dock somewhere, I will have it sorted. No worries.
Okay, that's a promise. This is all going to go to the rebellion. For this shipment.
Well, someone got to buy the fuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that part, but the rest of it?
Yeah, I will dump the rest of it to the rebellion account.
All right. Well, in exchange for that, the next time I go flying, whatever you say goes. Deal?
Deal. The next time hopefully the cartels will not catch up to us, because when they do and we don't have their spies, there's gonna be I will need some tricky flying from you.
You got it. I think I close it out there.
Nice. That was good. Good scene. Cool. So anyone else have a scene that they would like?
Yeah, I'd like to. This is going to come flat out of nowhere. I want to have a scene with Ein Forta, and so here's how I think the setup goes. I feel, and I'm not going to say I'm using the Force or anything. I just feel the tension on the ship has risen, and I can almost sense that it is presently embodied in Forta, and I need to talk to her.
Okay.
And so I'd like to get her, if I can get her right after that blow up that she had with Rosk, that'd be even better.
Oh yeah, maybe you're like walking in the room and
Yes.
Rosk is like just hung up with her and she's like screaming, "Oh,
Yeah.
I hate that guy."
Yeah. And so here's what I want. I'm going to start a thing. I'm going to just start a proverb thing, and then I'd love for Ein Forta to just unload on me. To just redirect all of her anger in me, and then that'd be really fun. Something I see her and it's and I tried to use words of consolation, something the waking moon is always looking for, and then you just
just wait. Can't you do something? Did you know this spice was on the ship? How did this happen? How am I the one person who didn't know this spice was on the ship? What's going on here? You've known Rosk. What's happening? How is this entire mission being put into jeopardy now? Tell me something. Tell me something in regular plain common speech, not in these aphorisms from Tranosha.
So okay, so I take all of that and I feel like taken aback by it, and I sit down and I say, you know what? Trying to be a wise man all the time is fucking annoying. No one really fucking understands a damn word that I say all the time. So Rosk, maybe, you know what? I think that the only thing we need to do is just, if he's not going to solve the problem of the spice, we should just unload the spice off the ship and just not even tell him. Just take it all out. Because quite frankly, I think that no one really fights against the Empire like we do. Like, we have to stick together and actually just do the thing and not actually think about doing other things to get to fighting against the Empire. We just have to fight the Empire together. So the first thing that we should do is just dump the spice. Let's not even tell him. And just make as though nothing happened.
I wish it was that easy.
Why not? Why can't it be that easy?
It's whenever you're dealing with something valuable, it's never easy. There's always somebody else who's got their hand in the pocket. I don't know who Rosk is dealing with, but I'm sure that if we dump the spice, it's just going to create more problems. We're right. We need to get rid of the spice as soon as possible, but we're going to need Rosk to help us sort this out. The last thing we need is some drug dealer coming after this ship and further causing problems for this mission. We need to talk to Rosk, and we need to get him to sort this out. But he's a huge liability to the mission now. This is a big problem. I'm glad you're on my side, Throck. This really means a lot to me. I was feeling really alone there for a while.
No, I know your plight. We'll get to him. And then I get up and leave.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice. That was great. It did not go where I expected. Pretty good.
Neither did I.
I think that filled in our character for that as well. The whatever the character.
Absolutely, and I think just dropping the pretense escalated things pretty well. So, yeah.
I mean, that kind of felt like it. That felt like it took it to a climax and then resolved it.
Actually, it did. It did. So 3 XP to Throck, 1 XP to Ein. And is there anything more that you want to narrate to resolve that conflict, Throxon?
Yeah. I actually look at her, and so when I leave, and I'm like, I have no more wisdom to give you. And then I walk away. Maybe that was too negative. Maybe I should say it like something like, you've learned everything you can from me, from my proverbs. There we go. So it's more positive. There we go.
Yeah, this doesn't make me sad. I like that one.
That's how I took it the first version too. That's great.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm just.
And Ein Forte definitely thinks like she was developing this respect for Throck and his amazing abilities to everything that he was doing, capturing Gleck and then turning away the stormtroopers in front of the Silver Snake. So now she's very much like, all right, and now I can actually relate to this guy too. So this is like, all right, I feel like I have a solid ally here on the crew.
Good. Awesome. Nice. Thank you.
Good stuff. I just saw on Paul's note there. That's cute. Any other player scenes? Any other scenes you guys want to have? No? Good.
Unless we all want to have some sort of like the whole group together to like sort this thing out, but maybe we leave that for later.
Might be better for later where you guys can kind of talk face to face. Like for as much as we're playing a game over Hangouts. So I imagine that. Let's get everybody. Cool. So
we're still separated into the B wings and the silver
right,
snake.
exactly.
Okay.
Right. You're still in hyperspace.
Who
All
is
these
flying the silver snake?
So I think that's you.
Okay. I'm glad somebody told me. Is that what I'm doing right now?
As long as you don't need that one arm that you left back there.
Yeah, perhaps do.
I could come aboard the Silver Snake, and I think we could can the B-wing be loaded up into it, or is it not big enough for that?
Well, not in hyperspace, but yeah, you can kind of like Tramp Raiders. I've seen it in a couple of different like Star Wars Clone Wars. I saw it in Rebels as well. We can kind of belly up and where the airlocks are attached and kind of attach yourself. It's maybe not something the B-wing's exactly designed for, so because it has that cockpit. But you've got Verpine. You could probably kind of rig something up if that's the thing, but probably best to just wait till you guys get to a place for it safer. These are prototypes. So the 3 spaceships come out of hyperspace. You guys have traveled towards the outer rim. The Roche asteroid field, if you imagine that the core worlds are here, the Roche asteroid field is somewhere in the mid-rim. And the coordinates that you took you further out to the outer rim, but actually, as everything starts to come up for you, Mr., you recognize that you are on the edge of Hut-controlled space. And this is not the destination that you have plotted in. Not the one, because you just got that from Leda Mothma and plugged that in and had to plot your course through all of the asteroids and star fields and black holes and everything.
Clearly it's sabotage.
Yes, it is a Beastie Boys song that I love with all of my heart. And yeah, you come out and you are on the edge of Hut space. You recognize, well, R5 would notify you of this immediately as well, Bryn. We're in Hut space. And that is a worried little beep and whir from your astromech unit.
R5, we weren't supposed to be in Hut space, were we? What were the coordinates that you had locked in?
I locked in the same coordinate. We married up with the Silver Snake. These coordinates look different from the ones that Leda Mothma provided us.
Wonder what's going on. Hey, and I open up a comm with Rask. See, Rask. Hey, Rask, you there?
Yeah.
What are we doing in Hut space?
Beats me. Calling Silver Snake. Mister, come in.
I can't hear you.
Mister, it's an old trick. Mister, don't. It's an old trick. I'm older than this trick.
Yeah, come.
Double check the coordinates.
I hear
while
you.
We are here.
Come in,
Mister. Mister, the Astro computer is broken, not the comms unit. So.
Yes. You're right. I see that. I'm running the diagnostics now. Yes, I noticed that there seems to be difficulty, like you said.
How long before we can make another jump? Maybe we can be out of sight from the... And maybe we will be lucky to be not spotted by the huts. How long do you need to make other calculations?
I mean, with the quality of calculations I make, I can do more right now if you want.
Here, let me roll the dice. Brah.
Yeah. Let me look at the scanner at the sensors if we are in any danger, and I'm just like pull out like the sensors menu, like send a ping to see if there is any trouble coming our way.
Why don't you size up a situation?
Perfect. I think it's pretty tense to be in the hut space.
Yes.
For me, it is Wonderful +0. Let's see. Yeah, it's a miss.
Oh man. Okay. Awesome. So you pull up the scanners and you are immediately hailed. And you're hailed by a ship that appears to be on the edge of your array, your sensor array. It is a very large ship. What do you do?
This, yeah, I opened the comms. I assume everyone can open the comms and join the call as well because we are now in free ships. So,
All right.
I
Yeah.
just
So
don't
we're on communal comm.
yeah, yeah. I just open the comms and don't identify. I wait for whatever they say first.
So what's going on? Did Einforza just kind of realizes something's happening? What's where are we? What happened? Are these the coordinates? Is this where we're meeting later, Montpa?
Let's not talk over the comms about such details. Yeah, Rich, what they're calling us.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I wanted to make sure you guys were good with that moment before. Modified dynamic class freighter Silver Snake. This is the major domo for Jayla Rameshkalna of the Hut Cartel. Your ship is carrying our product.
Yeah, I will get in comms and I would say, I'm very sorry. I think there has been a misunderstanding. We have just acquired the ship in the Roche asteroid field from some shady trader, but we were planning to changing the name of the ship because it's like previous owner. Whatever you had with previous owner, it's like it's as the new owner, and can we have like a blank slate between us? Start a new relation.
Oh. So the former captain of the Silver Snake, Rask Surin, is not with you?
No, according to our information, he was caught up by the Imperial presence in the Roche asteroid field, and the ship went up for sale to the highest bidder. It looked quite sturdy, so we have acquired it.
Very well. Congratulations on your purchase. Please hold in your current position, and we will board and ensure that your product is no longer hidden in compartments on the Silver Snake, and then you may go after paying a small stipend for invading Hut space.
I'm very sorry, but we are carrying something for our buyer that should not be. It's not an invasion. It's like we had a problem with space coordinates. If you can just give us half an hour to boot up our hyperdrive, we'll be out of your hair and not causing problems. It's not an invasion. These are just some new design of the ships.
Unknown new owner of the Silver Snake. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. This is not up for debate. Remain in your current position, and we will be boarding in 15 minutes.
So can Einforza would like to
Yes.
Einforza would like to come in and she wants to try and figure out, she wants to like I don't know, negotiate somehow. I'm not exactly sure what she wants to say, but basically I want to kind of like suss out what are his intentions, what might we be able to do. Maybe she's gonna like refer to, I don't know, like what are the I'm assuming she knows something about like diplomatic protocols and stuff, and and she's probably dealt with like huts before, or at least heard about how
Sure.
to deal with them.
He's
Maybe
being
some.
100% clear. He does not like all of a sudden one of the ships that has millions of credits of product just showed up in hut space.
Yeah. Is there some way to like typically buy off these huts though, and something
Sure.
that
This
like
is
that
the
huts might
major
want
domo
other than
for
this?
one of the huts. So, if you say, I don't know, had a powerful family or a whole lot of credits, you could probably buy off this major domo to look the other way.
Right.
Scrub their records and ignore that you ever showed up on anywhere near your hut space.
Okay. So yeah, I think Ein Forte is going to try and feel him out. Ein Forte is going to be like, look, we've got some connections. We can make this worth your while. What is it? What do you need to? She's not going to say it in as many words, right? But she's sort of like in a subtle way. That's the message she's going to try and send to this fellow.
Are you calling upon your family name? Like, are you reaching out using your connections and name right here?
Yeah, I could do that move. Yeah, I was actually thinking of like size up a person to like figure out what.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to do that first. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. So you're trying to reach out to the major domo of Jela Ramishkalna.
So all right.
So yeah.
So all right. So I'll roll for plus presence for that. Let's see. I think my presence is a +1, and I rolled a 9.
Nice.
So it brings me to 10. All right. Okay. So let's see. On a 10, you can ask the GM 2 questions. What do they really want? Or how could I get them to? Are 2 of the questions. So I think we know what he really wants, but how could I get them to look the other way and let us go? I'll start with that question.
Cool. So what he to get this guy who's the major domo of a pretty big hut to look the other way is to offer him a very significant bribe or something that would be equivalent to a significant amount of credits, such as the favor of a very powerful connected politician or an inroad into some other way to move spice, something that he can bring back to his
maybe
boss
being able to look the other way at a certain port, something like that, doing him a favor. Okay. So I could probably offer something like that. Since I have 2 questions, I'm also going to ask, what are they afraid of? So I'm going to, she's also in her conversation with him, going to try and size him up, figure out, is there something that this guy, maybe he's afraid that if he doesn't stop our ship or something, or if something else, maybe there's some leverage I can get on him.
Cool. So you talk back and forth for a little bit. We're abstracting this conversation for a little. The sense that you get is that perhaps Jela Ramishkalna is not nearly as powerful as most of the big players in the Hut Cartel. And so this major domo is trying to move fast, because if some other members of the Hut Cartel find out, oh, hey, several million credits worth of product just showed up on our doorstep, they're going to move immediately to just seize it. No questions asked. Just take that and bring it back. So they're trying to swoop in. This could be a big thing, and they're afraid that other members of the Hut Cartel will find out that this thing just dropped in their lap. I mean, they're on the edge of Hut space. They're not the important people on Nar Shaddaa. They're a cartel member.
Okay.
In word only. They have a corvette which is headed your way. It has a number of starfighters, but most of Jela's empire is within a few parsecs of you right now.
Okay. Yeah. So Ein Forte is definitely going to be like, okay, look, Jela, like, there's a lot of great spice on Ryloth, and I am as connected as anybody in Ryloth. Like, I can definitely get you access to some ports and being able to move some containers, no questions asked, through Ryloth. So you let us go now, you'll have way more to show for it later. And she's dropping the family name now.
Nice. All right. Declare what you want. Roll plus family.
All right. Let's see. So I got the family +2. So yeah, well, I want him to let us go. Maybe even no, I don't think we could ask him to help us plot new coordinates. I think just let us go. We'll have to figure out the coordinates on our own. Is there any way anybody can think of that we could get this guy's help to like actually get like our astromech fixed? Does someone have like? Is it possible he might have like a portable astromech system he could loan us? That's probably too much to
That's
ask.
just that thing. You actually have an astromech. You have R5.
Uh-huh.
The
We
one
have
that Mr.
wait.
hates.
Oh, okay. Oh, we just didn't have R5 on the.
Yeah, well,
Solar
no,
Suit last time.
but the two B wings basically slaved their astromech calculations to what Mister set up, so the guys would all go in the same.
Okay, so that was our problem. All right, so we just wanted to
Listen,
let us go.
he's an astromech droid, kind of, but he does lots of other stuff. Mister's got lots of functions, guys. Just lots of stuff.
Well, we could let it slide. Everybody loves MR. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and roll for the family.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, 7. Good thing we got the +2, so that bumps it to a 9.
Nice. Okay, so bumps into a 9. I love that result because you get what you want, but you must give up your trust and access to do it. Subtract 1 from family to go ahead with it.
Okay. So I had to call out a favor to my uncle Untlab, who already is kind of sketchy about me, has my doubts, and now he's like, uh-oh, Einfortus got in trouble again. I'll help her out, but he's kind of thinking about disowning me. I think I may have
in the longer range campaign of this game, we would have a scene where Untlab comes to have a conversation with you at some point. Yeah, that sounds good. I like it. So long moments pass, and finally, Jayla Ramishkalna's Major Domo says, "Very well. You should leave hut space immediately."
All right. Thank you. We will be on our way. It's been very good doing business with such a reasonable and intelligent businessman as yourself.
Do not enter hut space again, or we will not be as lenient. We look forward to seeing you on Ryloth. Ein Forta.
All right. Turns the comm off and says, "All right, let's get these coordinates right this time, guys. We've got work to do. We still have to get Gil back."
I think Akbar's goes,
yeah, right.
cool. So, yeah, you guys want to plot a new course? You can. Who knows what will happen?
Yeah. Whoever plotted last time, do it again.
Someone got better wits. They want to try plotting.
I do. I'm the most witty character on the ship.
It's weird because functionally, maybe a droid should be good at it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Let the magic space wizard do the magic course.
Space wizard, reach into the forest. You gotta. Sweet. Go ahead and plot a course then, Throck. By the way, if you miss, I'm just going to tell you a Sith will show up.
Awesome. I love that.
Just it's on there.
But you know that he has to miss now.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's a countdown clock with only 1 tick in it. It's just a circle.
Okay.
Like scribble in Sith.
And then you're going to like just check mark. We are here. Okay. Somebody want to help me? Just you never know, right? I could roll very poorly.
But the missed result is very interesting. So.
Yeah. All right. I'll just roll it.
Wow. Okay.
There we go.
Which of these are true?
There we go. I think it's 2-1. So yeah, I get a 3. I'm pretty sure.
You just rolled 6 dice.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay. I see 6 dice.
Okay. All right. Let me try again. I roll 2
Hold
dice.
on.
6.
Wait, before you do that, I think you did 6 when you meant to do these 6. So let me delete these out so that they don't. All right, cool. So just put a 2 to the left of D6 and then click the red button, submit. Okay, there you
5.
go.
I get a 6 in all. Nobody wanted to help?
Yes, someone will help.
You want that Sith?
You really want that Sith?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, me too.
Come on,
Good television.
MR, come on. I have faith in you. It's you can.
I want the Sith too. We had the hint of the Sith in the frigate. Like, yeah, they show up. They tracked us here. Absolutely.
All right, just make
Hut
this.
Sith. Let's Star Wars this thing.
All right, cool. You start to plug in the coordinates. No, you reach out to the Force.
I reach up to the Force, yeah.
Right, and you start to feel what you need to communicate to them in their language. But as you're reaching out, you feel a presence you haven't felt in. And then suddenly, a G-Truck freighter that looks all pockmarked and battle damaged as hell comes out of hyperspace, right on the edge of Hut space. The Imperial invasion of Hut space begins with this frenetic Sith who's like, I'm going after that guy because he's not Jedi, but he can be turned. So bam, it comes out of hyperspace. And you see that the remaining TIE fighters, it can carry 8. You guys destroyed 3, including the TIE bomber. So 5 TIE fighters all start coming out. And that's also, don't forget, you've got a Corvette from...
Jada Ramish Kalna's Corvette is still hanging out as well. So now we've got a Hut and a Sith and TIE fighters.
You have a Hut, a Sith, and TIE fighters. And here over the... No, not over the comms. Over the Force, you hear his voice. This is Darth Malphus. Throxon, join me or die.
So I hear him over the Force?
Mm-hmm.
Over the secret line that is the Force? Okay.
Hey, it's canon, but it does happen in 30 years from now.
It's cool. Okay, so answer. I've been waiting for the opportunity to add your head to my collection.
We shall see. Drop all of your defenses, and I will duel you. If you win, your pitiful rebellion can fly free.
I accept the terms of your bargain.
Nice. Yes, sweet. Okay, cool. So, how do you explain this to your crew?
So I open the comms link. I'm like, Rosk, I need you to stop the ship. I will duel with this useless Sith, and we will get out of here.
What? There is Sith coming after us?
Yes.
We should definitely better bomb them before they board Silver Snake.
He has my honorable word that I will duel him, so you will do no such thing.
Are we all on this?
Yeah. We're all on
It's group chat.
I say, Throck, you've always advised me to have better judgment. Are you sure going up against the Sith is the best idea in this situation? Why don't we just blow up his ship?
This will be a learning opportunity for us all to actually face the evil that we claim to be fighting. We need to face it in order to win it. So
What if you don't win?
We always win. If I lose, I will be one with the Force, and the Force will be stronger on your side.
Throck, I know you think that I have brought trouble to our door previously. And all I can say is this is a great plan. And I'm going to mark a square in our dramatic contest.
Does it need to happen on Silver Snake? Maybe you can go to their ship. That case, if you lose, we still have a fighting chance.
That's fair.
But it would be harder to cheat over there.
Yeah.
I have control of all the Silver Snake systems right now. I can hack into anything.
Blaze, what do you think? Can we hold off before attacking them to make it happen? Give them a chance to give them to have them fight off.
I have this amazing image of Jayla Ramesh deciding that he would love to have a Sith versus Force sensitive duel on his Corvette, and I'm just imagining like this Hutt watching this lightsaber duel in front of him.
I think the Hutt would sell tickets. That's an opportunity.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he can like broadcast it. He put it on pay-per-view.
Are you guys cool with that? Because I think that would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah. I think
we do like a George Lucas wipe, and you guys are on board the Corvette. I'm imagining it's like a Mon Calamari design, right? So it's got those weird, it's like a smooth shape with those weird kind of almost bubbles that come out. And you come in, and of course we have the floating palanquin of Jayla, which is a younger Hutt. He's only a few hundred years old, and Jayla Ramesh Kalna is there, and we've got a number of like Twi'lek dancers, right? In a future Gruta, male and female both. And then there's this circular pit that's all lit up, and there are a bunch of little droids that are all flying around and recording this. And we get the picture of the Sith that we only saw from behind, black robes. And I've got this like weird Geordie LaForge kind of eye visor thing. And you see that it is a Duros. So it's got the... well, you guys can look on the species name and slang, but they kind of look like the traditional gray alien type idea. And this Duro has green skin and red eyes. Pull the visor off, you see they have red eyes. And they have, of course, the traditional red bladed lightsaber. And high boots. They look very agile. It's not... They're kind of a counterpose to you, Throck, and your slow, sure strength. They are very quick. Darth Malphus, he's relies on quickness and surprise. And
awesome.
What do we see with Throck?
So Throck comes in, and as soon as he sees him, like there is no bullshit. I start running at him, hand out, and I'm just like, lightsaber is turning on halfway through, and I just take a slice at him.
Nice.
There's
cool.
No there's
no
like
preamble. No.
Just like go hard and just go like now.
Yeah, the Major Domo has just started his little speech to introduce the holiday. Yeah, he just started, and you like break in and goes, and tonight we are proud to present a fight between a Sith. And they're already going.
Yeah. So I just like run into him and slice him hard.
I think you're engaging the enemy. So let's see you do that. When you fight an enemy head on, roll plus guts. Just roll 2d6.
So I roll a 9. 9 plus 2 is 11.
Wow. Okay. So on a 9 plus 2, you guys will swap damage. What does your lightsaber damage do? Double bladed lightsaber, 3 damage. So he
3
also,
damage, melee obvious, yeah.
3 damage to you. Yay. So pick 2 options from the list with your 10 plus there.
Yep. Oh wait, I have to go to the basic moves. Oh, what's the move called? Sorry, I feel like
it's called engage the enemy. It's on column E.
Yeah, that's what the problem is. Okay, so I get to pick 2. I'm going to deal grievous damage, and then I'm going to impress dismay to distract them.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so you come charging in like a Brahma bull, and you see that he tries to like flip over you. As he does, you just change course and swipe up. And
actually, no. It's like I just lit one of the lightsabers. I just turn and then light the other in him.
Nice, cool. So yeah, it hits him right at his thigh and kind of pierces it, kind of fillets him a little bit. He comes down awkwardly, but you also feel the searing pain of his lightsaber in your back because you did Grievous, but you also take 3 yourself. But then he comes up, and of course it cauterizes a wound, so he's not going to bleed to death. But he is on poised on one leg. The other leg, the one that you've pierced, is kind of hanging limply, and he hops up, and you hear the major domo say, "Oh, this could be very short. This could be a very short. Please, tight focus. So I'm curious, Mister, what is going on with Mister? Did you come aboard? Did you stay on the Silver Snake?
I don't. For what I'm thinking, I'm not sure if it necessarily matters. Like, you know what? I'll say I came aboard.
Okay.
And like I am ready to hack into the system and wreck all kinds of havoc if necessary. But you know, maybe Throck will win this legit, and that'd be nice for him.
Just so you guys know, there is this move called Last Axe. Just so that's there. Okay. Do you want to deck into their system then?
I feel like let me check the move, but it probably makes more sense to wait until I have until I want a particular thing to happen. It doesn't make sense to roll it.
Okay.
But like fictionally, I am, interfacing and whatever and finding the back routes and the back doors to be ready to do it.
Nice. And what about Einforta? Did you come on board? I gotta come up with a cool name for this ship, so I'll work on that in the background.
Just calling it the Corvette sounds pretty cool.
All right. So it's a Corvette.
That's a Corvette. Yeah, that's a good question. I think Einforta is gonna stay behind. I think that she doesn't even want to see what's on this Hutt's ship, and she feels like the mission is the most important thing. So she feels like she needs to stay on board the Silver Snake, stay with Giel, and make sure that he gets delivered safely no matter what.
Okay, so you're still on the Silver Snake, maybe watching it over a hollow, nervous.
Yeah, she's definitely tuned into the pay-per-view for sure.
Nice. And as the little droids are scanning across, you recognize a couple of the enslaved Twi'lek as being part of your family, like the long family line. Like there's
they're part of the noble line of
distant, very family. distant
wow.
camp. Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe they're here as guests. Who knows?
But they don't look like they're here as guests.
No, there's the collar
not
thing.
on this guy's. Yeah. All right. Now Ein's really pissed off.
Nice. Rosk, are you on the Silver Snake with your best friend Einforta?
Yeah, I think I'm on the how did we decide to call the ship the cruiser just?
I'm just calling it the Corvette for now, the Hutt's Corvette.
Yeah, I think I'm on the Corvette. Is the Major Domo talking to the TV, or is he available to talk to?
Oh, just so we're clear, the Major Domo is not the Hutt. So the Hutt is available to chat and would be very interested in having conversations with you.
Yeah. I basically don't want to take out the spotlight. I basically imagine that now that Einforta bought our freedom, I think I'm safe to come because I have a business to do. Because we both know that no matter the result of the fight, we'll have to fight of the Imperial forces. So Ross is there to talk to the Hutt and secure that Hutt forces will help deal with the Imperials over here. So I want to use my move. I have a connection with among criminals. One person I can call on a contact to help you out with information. So yeah, so maybe we cut to the middle of the conversation. There's like Hutt eating something and there's drinking, and Rask is there politely standing next to him after he explained what happened, that he lost the cargo and that the cargo is unavailable and he will make do for whatever. And then he just like, but you know that no matter the result of the fight, the Empire soldiers will not stop. So I would be very grateful if I think it's in both our interests to like shoot them down after the fight.
Ooh, nice. Okay, cool. So you're trying to get the Corvette. You're trying to get this hut to be on your side because.
Yeah, we both know that no matter who wins the fight, we'll have to shoot the Imperials down because they're Imperials. They can't be trusted to just let us go.
That's got some ring of truth to it. It says also that you roll plus presence, so you want to go ahead and pull off that roll, and we'll see how amenable Jayla is.
Of course, I was just waiting for you to call on this.
Yeah, it's good.
Didn't go well. It's a 6.
Awesome. So Jayla says that's a great idea. Jayla is all on board with this idea. He's already moving his forces in to try to take out the Imperials. This will be a great idea. Yeah, no problem.
Although the move specified that in 6 months they are unwilling or unavailable, but it's up to you. You can override.
Yeah, I hate when 6 minuses tell me what to do. But
Let's go with your version.
I'm picky. I'm a fussy bud. Okay. Yeah. So he'll say, "Yeah, I'm putting my people in place right now," but they're obviously watching this crazy big lightsaber duel. And
thanks. So I'll make up to you. See you later. And I will just like politely excuse myself to go back to the viewing that is docked.
Cool. Yeah. So you're heading back towards the B-wing, and you see that there are a group of Gamorreans that are making their way towards the Silver Snake, which is also docked. It seems that perhaps Jayla is double check that the Silver Snake doesn't actually have lots and lots of spice on it.
Yeah, I think I have to follow the Gamorreans then.
All right, cool. So let's cut over to Bryn. So where is it that we find Bryn?
Bryn wanted to stay behind. Is that possible?
Sure, absolutely. So he's still on the B-wing?
Still on the B-wing, and I want to try to send out...
He's like flying still?
Yeah, he's still circling and kind of like staying low, and he's trying to send a signal out to Major Sighton Bass Fury Squadron for backup to come in here, because he knows that whatever happens, that Sith is going to take a shuttle back to his what is it, his frigate or whatever it was he was flying. So maybe if we got the Fury Squadron, we could just take that shuttle out together, just blow it up.
That sounds like you're trying to do something a little tricky and risky, huh? Like if they catch that signal going out, they'll know you guys are duplicitous and dishonorable. He's trusting that Throxan would not try to pull a fast one.
Well, Throxan isn't. I
am. Cool. So let's see. It feels like acting under fire, but I'm just want to take a quick glance and see if there's anything I'm missing. I think, yeah. So you're going to push through a dangerous situation here. What's the worst thing that could happen as you try to reach out to Fury Squadron?
Worst thing that could happen is that Sith can feel it. He can sense something is going on here. He can read my shit. Yeah.
All right. Roll plus clutch.
All right. Clutch is a 1. Ah, 6. Just missed it.
Dice love you guys. Awesome.
Yeah, they do.
So you start to reach out and try to.
Could someone help? Could someone help? Not really.
I don't know if fictionally anybody is in a position to help.
Yeah,
definitely not Throck. Mister maybe, but it'd really be up to Mister.
I feel like if I was somewhere else other than the Corvette, probably, but
yeah.
All right.
I mean, Ein Forza might be on the Silver Snake at the comms channel, since she's one of the only people on the Silver Snake right now. She might be able to, you know, like pull a little leverage with Fury Squadron. Like, oh, this is really important, you know, rebellion mission.
I buy it. It's close enough to for me to buy it. So let's see you roll to aid.
All right, roll to aid.
Aid or interfere. If you do so through bravado, you roll guts. Through skill or grace, you roll clutch. Through knowledge or quick thinking, you roll wits. Through charm or social wiles, roll presence.
Okay. Oh, so what was that one? Then what was? So what do you think this one's going to be then? Social presence. My kind of my
Her
my just like my
connections.
commanding connections. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Roll plus presence. There you go.
Okay. Good. That gives me a +1, which ekes me up to a 7 for my roll.
So close. Okay, cool. So that gives you the +2 that pushes you to a mixed success, but you are involved on. And so I think if we are going with that basic move of acting under fire on a 7 to 9, you can make it, but not clean, which means that you can get in contact with the Fury Squadron, but it's not completely clean. They will be aware of your treachery. So the Imperials will be spinning up their TIE fighters, launching them again, and yeah, things are about to escalate and get pretty rough.
Okay. That's what we want. It's Star Wars.
You reach out to Fury Squadron, and Captain Hoffletter says, "Well, I thought we got orders to go on furlough, Lieutenant. What's going on? What do you need help with again, Lieutenant Seelig?"
Yes. Is this Major Sight and Bass or one of
Sure. Yes, it's Major Sight and Bass. Is who you're talking.
Major, we've been out of communication, but it seems like you are actually pretty close by. We have a Sith here, and we have him
You should run.
Well, he's involved. He's entangled with some of our men, and we've got a pretty precious cargo here, and we can't let this opportunity go. If you guys can give me some support, we might be able to take this Sith out when he takes his shuttle. It's a long story. He's in a duel with one of our men on a Hutt ship, and whatever happens, he's going to take a shuttle back to his what is it?
Give us your coordinates. I'm scrambling everyone right now.
All right. So we do send it out.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds problematic. I love it.
I imagine that while they're in hyperspace on their way over, they're all tuning into the pay-per-view as well to watch the duel.
Yeah, no, Captain Sight and Bass or Major Sight and Bass comes back as squad. There's a duel going on between. Yeah, we know. I've got 50 credits. I've got 50 credits on the transition. No, we have to go. And so they start scrambling or running towards the hangar. It's this invasion of outer space. It's a big thing. Cool. So we cut back to the Throxon versus Darth Malthus fight. Malthus is in a rough shape, but you aren't doing super great either. So I think the first thing that happens is Malthus stands up and he turns off his lightsaber. He's standing unsteadily on one leg. And he reaches out with one hand, and he starts to fire out force lightning towards you. What do you?
Oh. All right. I'm gonna unleash the force and hold him in place.
Are you gonna? If you do that, like you can freeze him.
Yeah, I'd like to freeze him in the. Is that something I could do, or should I?
Yeah, no, you can totally do that thing. Yeah, options. You can try to freeze him. If you get a 10+, that means you're able to kind of redirect the force lightning to where you're not going to get jacked up.
Yeah.
But a 7 to 9, you're going to take some harm, and then you'll have him effectively held. Does it sound good?
Okay. Yeah, sounds great.
All right, roll with guts.
To submit. 14.
What?
2 6s.
Okay, you have him at least for a moment or two completely under your control with your telekinetic power. What does that look like?
So he's reaching out with the force to force lightning, and I just wave my hand at him, and I'm like, no.
Nice.
So it looks like rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, sweet. And then nobody's going to whip out Spock because this is Star Wars. There is no Star Trek here. Awesome. So you hold him fast. He's unable, like the lightning is held as well. It's just coming slightly out of his fingers, but he's not able to exert his will any further. You guys are effectively at a stalemate for a few moments. We cut back. Oh, sorry. Did you have a thing?
Yeah, I was gonna do the what's the move again? Enforcer of the order, and I'm gonna use the move that I just did to roll with guts, so I can get a plus on a 10. So I want him to either acquiesce, flee, or fight me. Oh, he's already fighting. Never mind. Don't do that. Never mind. I don't do that.
Okay, because guess what? I'll choose to fight you. Good. So we have this battle of wills between the two of you. He's still trying to push forward, but you're holding him fast. We cut away from you guys and the frenetic action that's going on, and we see Rosk sneaking up on the Gamorreans as they're trying to, like, one of them pulls out a torch and he's going to cut. He's like squeeze. He's going to cut through with the torch and make his way onto the silver snake. What do you do, Rosk?
Yeah, I assume that a moment before I engage them, I just like grab the communicator and just like on our like intercoms, like, everyone, some Gamorreans are breaking into the silver snake. Might need some assistance over here. And then yeah, I really want to lean to like sucker punch them, but maybe before I will just approach them because hopefully they are not really maybe they don't know me per my like outlook. So I will just come and just like yell at them because I assume he has some buttons in his server. So I'll just like come and say, "You idiots! Silver Snake is parked over there on the other side. Dock 14,
Nice.
14. This is Gold Bloom and not Silver Snake."
Oh, that's great. That is such a line of BS that it tickles me. Cool. So I think you're trying to manipulate these guys to doubt what's going on here. So
Yeah, I don't have any other replacement moves, so that's.
Yep, I don't either. So I
We're
don't. See
under fire. Maybe it's, I don't know.
What are you trying to do? You're trying to convince these guys to go somewhere else, that they're at the wrong. This is not the ship you're looking for. Is really what you're trying to pull off.
But I can't do. This is not the ship you're looking for.
Right. So I think you're manipulating them. That feels right. So go ahead and roll plus presence.
Cool.
You're actually really good at that.
Yeah, I guess I'll have my opportunity to sucker punch because it's 5.
You rolled a 5?
I rolled a 3 plus 2. It's a 5.
Good lord. So again, no XP on a fail. Bummer for you. So the Gamorreans they look at you with their little piggy eyes, and one of them just shoves you down. Shut up! And they go back to and they start cutting it forward. One of them has an axe that he brandishes at you. There are let's say there's like 3 of them here that you're dealing with.
Yeah. Well, I'm lying on the floor, but I'm not going to let them just crack open my ship. We have to fly in this. So lying on the floor, I just like draw my blaster and just like bang one of them in the back.
Sweet. So you're sucker punching a guy?
I think so. They are not already in combat, so.
Nope. All right, so I'm at 10 plus to engage the enemy. Yeah, it's cool. So you draw out on this guy. He didn't see it coming, and you have engaged the enemy with a 10 plus. So go ahead and exchange damage. I'm going to say, right, like his shove is going to give you 1 hit point worth of damage, or you can take a condition.
Yeah, so I sucker punch them for grievous damage, which means with my high-powered blaster is like a 4 harm.
Oh, he's
and
dead.
I'm not sure. Maybe someone else will need to come and help me. So I want to say that they are all focused on me. Maybe I didn't finish them all.
That sounds awesome. Sweet. So yeah, you blow one of them, like you hit him right in the gut. He falls to the ground, greenish blood coming out, drops to the side. He's totally dead. His little vibro axe laying between the two of you. The other two, like the one with a torch, and he's actually holding up a pair of goggles. He turns around to the other and he says to his buddy, "Kill that one." And so he will approach towards you. We cut back to the fight, and we're going to zoom in on Mister. So, Mister, you've got eyes on things if you want. You know that Bryn is flying around outside. You know that Einford is on Silver Snake. Somewhere Ross kind of disappeared. And then, of course, big lightsaber duel. What are you doing, Mister?
I mean, it seems like Throck is doing pretty well.
Seems like it.
Relatively well. So I have a thing I want to do, but I am also looking at the clock, and I don't want to take us off on a tangent. So
how about so based on time, I was like on the doorstep of saying maybe we start to narrate what's going. So why don't you give me your intention? We may need to start pulling back from mechanics as we start to speed things up and head towards a...
Basically, I was thinking as I was digging through all of the hut systems, I noticed that there is a very nice looking astro droid that has been under repair and has just a gorgeous, gorgeous body that, I mean, would put an R5 unit to shame. And I figure Throck is doing pretty well right now, so maybe I can just skedaddle over there and see if I can't pile all my wizards and giggards into a different container, because I feel like
you discover that you go down into an area where there are a couple of Jawa. They're just sorting out different pieces of junk, and there's that pristine, we're going to call it an R6 chassis. So have you act under fire to get everything moved over before things escalate and other trouble happens. Otherwise, you may lose pieces. Roll
you're
plus
like a hermit. You're like a hermit crab.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah, I love it. That is a good way to call it. All right, this is what I'm moderately okay at. Hey, I got that 7 to 9 we've been looking for. It is a 9.
7 to 9. You can make it, but not clean. I'll tell you what you must hazard to get here. Either you are either going to have to leave some of your systems behind, perhaps some of your astrogation calculation capabilities, or you can take a condition, or one of the Jawa will sneak aboard the Silver Snake because he thinks you're super interesting. He's never seen a hermit crab before, and hey, wow, that's cool.
You know, the only thing I like more than power droids is Jawas, so if I'm losing one, we got to get the other.
All right, there we go. So you're no longer a power droid, and now you have a Jawa companion who thinks this is the most amazing thing he's ever seen.
Because we have to cram all the Star Wars into this one adventure.
Houdini! Okay, yeah, he actually even comes over and helps and shoves in a couple of wires and the like, and then he's gonna just and follow you out. Cool. So we cut back to the fight between our two Sith, or two Force users here, the Gray Jedi, as it were, the weird order of the Transition, and the Sith Darth Malphus. How does this end? This will be for all the marbles. This is the last moment. Is this a thing where you strike out again? What are you thinking happens between Throxon and Darth Malphus?
So I think it'd be really cool if it was a stalemate.
Nice. Cool.
I'd like, you know, at the end, like two aliens pounded each other, and there's a sense in the middle of it that like, because of the environment that we're in, that the fight is no longer for either of us, but for the audience that's playing. And there's kind of a resolution that's like, we can't do this. Like, there's almost to a degree where it's like, we're entertainment now. This is no longer a real thing.
Oh, it is sours, like your sours.
Yeah, it feels like from both of us, it's like we're, you know, it's like this is a show. This isn't no longer a duel of philosophies. This is
can I just add something to this? I think in the background, while the two of you are fighting, there's this little monitor of the pay-per-view credits that have been piling up, and like it starts like flashing that this is like one of the best selling pay-per-view events of the year, and it's just like the HUD is like cheering now that he's making money more than cheering at the fight, and kind of both of you realize that.
Yeah, that's even better. Where it's like, I want it almost where we're like, okay, enough. Like,
Malphus says something like, "We are not chained rancor, fighting for their sport."
And I'm like, I agree. We must continue this battle at some other time.
Cool. And as you say that, that's when Fury Squadron comes out of hyperspace and they start littering. Like, what we'll say that there's an A-wing that starts littering, like hitting the Corvette for the hat, and so there are explosions that happen on board. And so we cut back to Rosk and Ein Forta. How is it that you guys take care of these two Gamorreans before they are able to cut their way onto the Silver Snake? We haven't heard from Ein. So Ein, what is it that you do to help out first?
Rosk, before even confronting them, Rosk came in on his comm and said, that the Gamorreans are on the way. We've got trouble. So at that, Ein Forta kind of always on edge, thinking, we need to make sure that nothing goes amiss, because what could go wrong with this current chaos? So she goes to Pollard and says, grab your blaster. And then she takes her blaster, her laser pistol, and she starts running up to the hatch door, where I think she would notice that someone might be trying to cut through.
Nice. And then how is it that you take care of them with Ein Forta's help, Rosk?
So
we're going to narration at this point. Like, we've got just a few minutes left, and I do want to get feedback from people who can stick around. So
I don't imagine that one of them is like focused on me, and the other one is cutting, and be like, Ein Forta, open the door. like it's
that's what I see. He's trying to cut, and the door just slides open, and Ein Forta just blasts him.
That is awesome. Cool. So you blast that one Gamorrean, the other one closes on you, Rosk. You take him down, and the two of you start to face off, but then Mister shows up as an astromech droid and helps out somehow. Like, he distracts the Gamorrean, and the Jawa will stab him with some kind of force pike stick. No, he's got the little shoot. The little rifle thing that they use to hit R2-D2 and electrocute him. He helps and electrocutes the Gamorrean. You guys all rush on board the Silver Snake. Outside, Bryn, Fury Squadron, finally, last moments of the movie. This is the big buddy shot. What does it look like with the Fury Squadron and Bryn reunited together again? A bunch of hotshot pilots. What are you doing? What are you saying?
That was a frigate, the Imperial vessel.
Yes.
Yeah. So the frigate is caught completely by surprise as Fury Squadron, they come from hyperspace, and they unload, and Bryn is flying. He's trying to take down the defenses. He takes out 2 TIE fighters, and then he gets an interceptor on his tail. An interceptor's it's got a lock, and he's right about to fire, and Major Sight Blast comes in from the side and blows it up. Bryn goes in and takes that final shot, and the frigate it's listing now from the damage it's taken.
Yeah, it was in rough shape before, and now you with the B-wing, you're perfectly situated. You take it, it starts going down, and it's dropping out. The lights kind of wink and they go out. They've even lost life support. You see a few escape pods go out, blinking, with a few remaining Imperials who make their way out. The breakup of the A-wing that hit this Hutt Corvette, the fight drops. So what do we see with Throxon? Do you rejoin everybody on the Silver Snake?
I do, yes.
Cool. So yeah, you come up, you guys all get on the Silver Snake, the B-wings form up, and with Fury behind the B-wings, you guys, we all take off into hyperspace, and we're not rolling dice, but we're just going to say that a certain R unit actually plotted the correct coordinates, and it's an NPC, so he doesn't roll dice and he succeeds. And babe, you guys end up at the, we'll say that, trying to think timeline wise, yeah, you end up over Hoth. There we go. You guys all end up over Hoth, and you've got Akbar and the B-wing fighters and the like, and to see you guys all over this ice planet as you are headed in, and that's where and that will end our 3 sessions of Sea of Stars. I just want to say we're at time. Thank you all so much for giving us 3 sessions. This has been really fun. It's been interesting exploring Sea of Stars, and I super love the characters you guys created. So you're free to go because we are at time. If you have about 10, 15 minutes, totally on you. Love to do the Roses and Thorns for the whole 3-session thing, especially anything engaging mechanics overall. But if you need to go, Totally cool. I'm super hungry and I'm going to eat pizza soon too, but I will stick around for anybody that can. Saturday is pizza day at the Rogers household. That's why I say that. So with that, I'll go ahead and start with Thorns. Stuff that was confusing, confounding, not as fun as you'd hoped, or missed the mark a little bit. I'll start with you, Walter. What Thorns did you have?
I don't have anything now, but maybe if I think of something while someone else is
cool. I'll skip you. If you want us to circle back to you, you let me know. Pavel, what Thorns did you have?
Somehow the resolution of conflicts, it was weird to do it over distance. And we didn't really, I know it was the last session, but we didn't establish any follow-up. I'm not sure if this is the last session but somehow there should be like follow-up. I don't know, maybe someone thinks I'm now a liability or something. So we resolved them, but but nothing much came of it. I'm not sure if the system somehow instructs us on how to do it. But
yeah, when you resolve it's really unclear that, okay, great. So you took care of dramatic conflict. Now what? And it feels like it wants you to make a new one, but there's no guidance or real.
Yeah. So
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I think only that. Everything else, nothing really else jumped in mind. Everything else was really cool. So,
okay, cool. Keith.
And yet some of the same stuff as last time, because obviously none of the system stuff has changed. I think I also noticed some of the stats are a little weird, where it's like, I have a stat that would lead me to think I'd be good at this, but I'm not.
Yeah.
And it's all obviously playtesting stuff and feedback where he'll say, oh, maybe that should be a different stat, or maybe we should have different results for 7 to 9. Not that we rolled any, really. Great success, great failure. But that, I think, made for a good story. And I think also last time we kind of had a little problems with Spotlight. And so this time, of course, we went in 3 different ships, which was probably not a great idea for managing Spotlight. I think we got better at the end with just saying, let's open a communication channel and we can all talk over it. But yeah, with 5 players, hangouts, and individual stories, it caused some difficulties there.
Yeah, I think the open comms was a good call. I don't know who suggested it, but that really helped. It helped a lot. And I think maybe that's just the best practice for Star Wars games. Cool. Thanks, Keith. Blaze, what Thorns did you have?
The only Thorn mechanically I could think of is I'll raise it again. The no XP for failing is kind of weird. The rest of it really good. Yeah, I don't think story wise, yeah, the open comms thing that works. But I feel that like even at the end, the way that you manage like everyone's actions during the fight, like around the table, what's everyone doing in the thing, like created a lot of wonderful threads of tension and things.
Okay. Thank you. That doesn't feel like a Thorn, so I'll just take it.
Sorry, I should have said that later.
It's all good. It's all good. Last but not least, Ari, what Thorns did you have?
Yeah, going off of what Pavel said, I think for the dramatic conflicts, what might be an interesting possibility is to have something like a downtime phase, where once the dramatic conflicts are done, they kind of put on hold, and then once you reach a point where you can have that downtime where everybody can come together in the cockpit or wherever, that's when you kind of talk that all out, and then you return back to whatever the other phase is, gameplay phase. And then also like the same thing I said last week about initiating these dramatic conflicts, there needs to be some formal instruction there that advises you or tells you how we know we're in a dramatic conflict, so that we don't have to say, oh, I'm doing my dramatic conflict, or hey, that thing I just did, was that a dramatic conflict? Should I write that down? Yeah, those are 2 things.
Yeah, struggling how to express it. The idea of the dramatic conflicts versus, so to me, dramatic conflicts is an attempt to fix bonds, which are a thing you establish at the beginning of a Dungeon World game, and then they just kind of sit there. and dramatic conflicts has a cool idea in that, okay, we bring this up, and it drove a lot of conversations. Like, we got very tropey. We saw some cool things that you guys went head to head over. And then there's actually a reward, which we've called board gaming in the past. So there's a reward to want to continue it. And I like the idea of mechanizing the conflict that you've created from character creation, and then a reward for the person who does it the most. I still feel it's not as refined as I would like. It's not an elegant solution, but I like the direction.
I have another suggestion, if you don't mind. Something that might help to address it. Maybe use some sort of a currency, some sort of a token thing that does two things. One, it would mitigate players from aggressively bringing up dramatic conflicts all the time. You'd be more judicious, and also, what was the other thing I was going to say about it? Using tokens, initiate dramatic conflict. Shit, I lost my train of thought. I have a second thing. I'll let you know if it comes back. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Pablo, you had a thing you wanted to circle back?
Yeah, I wanted to say that maybe it's our choice of characters, but 4 out of 5 characters were based on clutch, on guts, and out of your moves are based on guts. And I noticed that guts is also used as a primary combat move. And other games usually try to separate. So if you are like good on combat, this stat is not always used for a lot of other things, so that you have to like spread out your stats, because basically a lot of you have like moves almost exclusively to guts, and like combat's on guts, your moves as on guts, and other games try to like spread out, use the drops and moves on clutch, on wits, because I see that. Oh, a lot of you have move guts, roll plus guts. Just my notice that other games usually separate that. Stat used for combat, for like direct combat, isn't often used in other moves. So that if you wanna be good at combat, you are good at combat, but other things you have to like spread your stats somehow. Because it's like very weird for me that even Princess, are a very social character, goes with maximum guts because it supports her move.
Can I add something to that?
1 second.
Oh.
I will. And as for dramatic conflicts, I think that maybe the marking should be different. Not like who brought the subject, but like who somehow evolved the subject. And maybe if we had more time, we could phrase our actions into the scene a little bit more happily, because there is some part which you can discuss, but then the other thing you can show in the action. So maybe it somehow evolves a conflict. Like I think that the brain is like to jump into action, so he flies like crazily in the action, and then I can like say reprimand him or compliment him. But yeah, that's what I had to say. Please, Blaze.
I was going to say, yeah, I found it kind of weird that everything was very gut-oriented. The Jedi, or the Ardent, is like one of, I think, the big offenders of this. I mean, if you were trying to build like a space wizard or a magic priest or whatever it is, it's really around like it's on the fight thing, and it should be. Like there's more of a. I'm surprised that it's not more of a wits character than.
Yeah.
So it's like those are the things that it's like, yeah, it feels very combat oriented when it shouldn't necessarily be. So yeah.
I remembered what I was going to say about this.
Oh yay! What were we going to say?
So yeah, so using sort of a token thing would not only make it clear that it's like it would not only would it reduce like people overusing it, but it also make it clear that it's happening. Also, like you would know it's initiated. I don't know if that's the right answer, but I was just thinking of how to solve it.
Yeah, I think if there was some kind of key phrase that you could work into a conversation, similar to Polaris,
right?
You know, where there's specific key phrases they're using to engage that conflict resolution mechanic in Polaris. If there's something like that here, it might make it a little more seamless. That's an interesting idea. Cool. But to close the door on thorns, any last thorns that are popped up? All right. Roses, and we do it in snake order, which means it is your turn, Ari. What roses did you have from?
I'm just gonna throw roses out there. Everybody pitched in. Everybody played their characters beautifully. We all, traded off each other. I don't know. Just overall had a great time, and the pacing was perfect right up to the end. I know we had to speed things up, because of time, but I was pretty happy with it. Honestly, I had a really good time with it.
Cool. Thank you. Blaze, what did you have?
I also a big fan of the pacing, big fan of the characters. Had a lot of fun. I'm kind of sad it's only 3 sessions. Yeah, that was my but it's okay. It's all good. And I got to play with Ari, which was new, Keith, which was new, lots of energy, and that I really enjoyed.
Cool. Thank you, Blaze. Keith, what roses did you have?
The same. The character interaction was really great, and I think this time we really brought in so many different elements, and people were willing to embrace the failure and steer into it. And just like it was so tropey. Like, it seems like obviously this game is designed to play Star Wars as one of the things. If you look at the examples, I don't know if it would work as well with the Firefly or Deep Space Nine and all the other ones that they bring in, but it was Star Wars. Like, everything I could have wanted out of it, I was like, yes. Even the things I didn't know I wanted came out.
I'm so glad I threw in that Jawa and that you responded to it. I'm like, yep, there's a Jawa there. Cause
Jawa.
Yeah, I want to add. The thing I loved the most was the droid getting the new chassis. That was very fictionally satisfying.
And I thought, like, kind of like you were saying, there should be a ramification. Like, yeah, you convinced me. This was the right way to go. You won the dramatic conflict, and here's the result.
That was really great.
Search pictures again, so that was nice.
I just looked the whole body swapping hermit crab thing, that through line. It was a definite rose for me. It was very transhuman in a way. Like, it was neat. It was a neat aspect to Star Wars, Keith. So I really liked that character. Pavel, what roses did you have?
I want to give a rose to the dice roller, because the dice roller was really with us today. Whenever there was something about, well, the 10 plus will be really boring, 6 minus will be really interesting, bam, 6 minus. And then we jumped over here, and then the Sith came. And if we just get to the point, we'll be like, yeah, we completed the mission. So, but then when we were in the action, it was like 10 plus, 10 plus, 10 plus, yeah. So yeah, the dice roller was really with us. Big ups. I really enjoyed the last part of the session when we were in the hot cartels. Everything was going on. Great idea to like make the fight on the cruiser. I don't remember who threw it, but it was like, yeah, amazing idea to just let's move over there. Let's dock. Let's have some situation over there. I really liked that you guys resolved the dramatic conflict. They came to play. We had some kind of resolution. I'm sad that this is the end. I hope to play with you more. It was cool.
Cool. Thank you, Pavel. Walter, what roses did you have?
All the roses. I mean, I want to echo what everybody else said. The characters were great. I love that so many characters had really, really interesting interactions. That the characters by them, and then they connected really well. One thing that really stood out for me was Rich, was your pacing and being able to cut very quickly between people. Like, even during the lightsaber duel, you cut away like 4 different times and gave everybody a chance to do something. And I thought that was awesome. I loved that we were all engaged, even though all of our characters were often off doing completely different things. That felt really, that was really good pacing and cutting away.
Thank you. Cool. I want to give a rose to Keith rolling and failing on the plot course. Like, first of all, rose to Pablo going, hey, dumbass, there's a mechanic for this. He didn't call me a dumbass, but like in my head, I'm like, oh shit, we're like playtesting a game and there's a mechanic to do this thing. And I didn't engage it. So Pablo going, hey, mechanic. I'm like, yes, mechanic. And then Keith going, I suck at this. Shouldn't I have a bonus? I should be good at this. What? This doesn't it doesn't feel right. My guy should be better at this. And then you blow it. And I'm like, yes. Now I'm like, oh man. And hut space and bring back the spice stuff. I was like,
whatever you want. Yeah.
I felt guilty because I don't normally like delaying hard moves, but I actually like the whole thing of Pollard saying, "Hey, there's spice on board," was just me reminding you guys of that, so that when you've dropped at Hut Space, it was like, "Oh shit!" And it went so many different directions I didn't see coming, and that was super fun. Like there were so many payoffs of the previous 2.5 sessions in that last half of this session, really in the last hour. It really just went to 11. And I appreciate you guys being on board with like, and we're in Hut Space, and here's a hut, and here's the Sith. And you guys are going like, let's do the Sith. That's awesome. And then, hey, let's make a pay-per-view. Like, you guys were all just heaping on all of this, like technically kind of sort of gonzo stuff, but we all were in it, and it was fun payoff, and it could have gone the way of like the Star Wars Droids TV show, but instead it went the way of like crazy gonzo go nuts. Why not Star Wars? And I really enjoyed that. So thank you guys all for being on board. I agree with you. Like 3 sessions is a little too short for these character stories. It's probably about the right amount of Sea of Stars that I want to play, but I really love these characters and would love to see them again. So thank you guys so much for giving me these 3 Saturdays so we could play this. I really appreciate it. Cool. And with that, we'll stop here.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.